All right, if you're one of our 0 watchers right now, you know that we just went live a little bit early. Why would we do that? We've got so much to cover in today's episode. But before we do, we're going to let those of you who are dialed in to let your friends know that we're coming. Here's what you can expect in today's football pregame. We're going to break down the competition, the opposition, the West Fork Warhawks. We're going to break down the Saints' victory from last week for those of you who are only able to listen. By the way, the stream is out there. You can watch it. The recording from last week where the Saints were victorious in Newman 61-0. We're talking a little bit about some stats. We're going to talk about a little bit of postseason scenarios. So stay right here. We're going to move to commercial because we've got some glorious sponsors out there who are willing to make this stream free, and then we'll give you some opportunities to do the same later on in the broadcast. So stay with us. We'll be back with some pregame madness from right here in Saint Ansgar, Iowa.
Nearly 30 years, we have been a partner to the communities in Northeast Iowa, fulfilling the energy needs of our neighbors and friends. A good partner knows your business and understands your needs. Providing the highest level of service possible is our mission. Our customers count on us to reliably and safely deliver the fuel products they need to keep their productivity high whenever the need arises. We are continuously improving our capabilities by adding storage, improving the fleet, or utilizing new technology. We've put together a well-rounded team of specialists who welcome the opportunity to answer your questions and assist your plans. These efforts result in a better experience for our customers. At Johnson Oil, we're in business to be partners in your success.
We are currently in our 10th year of operations here at Bet Roofing. One of the most exciting things about owning a business has been just seeing us grow over the course of that decade, from starting out again pretty small to what we're able to accomplish in the amount of square footage of roof we put on.
So this year will be our first year of being full-time roofing. So kind of what our plan is to keep on doing what we're doing right now, but obviously we want to expand and grow upon the business and probably branch out into different communities in North Iowa.
One of the things that we really pride ourselves on at BET Roofing is the people that sell you your roof, the people that give you estimates, are the ones that actually are on the job site every single day, putting shingles on your roof, looking over projects, and just making sure that things are held to the highest quality that you would expect for your home. We know that roofing can be a pretty crucial part to protecting your house from the elements, so we make sure to be as responsive as possible to get out to your house, and if we need to cover something up short term, but we try to also make a priority of as our customers contact us and reach out to us, getting them on the list and moving forward as soon as possible.
I enjoy the manual labor of it. Some people don't enjoy that, but I'm one of those people that do, and I enjoy the work. It's very fulfilling, and you get to see what you accomplished every day, and working with the people is probably one of the biggest things that I enjoy too. It's fun to seeing people satisfied with the work you do.
One of my favorite parts about roofing is seeing the physical progress you make on the job site each day. You get a lot of satisfaction from driving by properties you've done in the past and seeing what you've done and being proud of what you're able to accomplish. Definitely is a lot of hard work, but it's definitely worth it in the end as well.
As a family-owned business since 1922, we have a good feel for what it takes to be a strong and growing member of the local economy. Our hope is that our customers and employees have a warm and welcoming experience each and every time. We strive to communicate a clear vision and plan for individuals, our company, and our community's success. We work to ensure that the quality of all of our people, Our products and our services stand the test of time. If you would be a good fit for our company in a mechanical or managerial position, we would love to hear from you. Benefits include competitive pay, 401k, health, dental, and life insurance, flexible spending accounts, vacation, and holiday pay. Because we believe it's more than just a place to work. It's a place to call home.
Is he slow? Oh, heck no. It's not your average Joe. Right here on Saints TV.
Hello and welcome to Saint Ansgar, Iowa, where our Saint Ansgar Saints will be playing the West Fork Warhawks tonight in week number 7 of the high school football season. The Saints are starting off pretty well.
Yeah.
6-0.
Say
The Warhawks
6-0.
have, I believe, a 1-5 record. I think that's correct.
They
right,
do.
Joe?
They do. Hard to believe it's week 7 already.
Unbelievable.
We've got to this point of the season, and we sit where we are today. So it feels like football weather too tonight.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Candle Genius here, and I forgot the introductions. Candle Genius, not your average Joe, to my left. And let's talk a little bit about football tonight. What do you see happening?
Yeah, it's going to be another good night of football here in Saint Ansgar. Again, if you can hear us, right, you've got, 35 minutes to get down here and get down to the field. So
Exactly.
Come be a part of this. Great night for football down here. Come support the seniors and these Saints here tonight. It's senior week for the football program. They do some special things inside the program that are their deal, so we won't talk about those things. But I know they have a lot of fun and they take a lot of pride in this week here in Saint Ansgar. So here we go. Kind of broken record, 6-0, must-win game, right? Every game now from here forward's a must-win. You can kind of look at it like the playoffs start now. Can't afford to stumble, can't afford to trip up. I know part of the message this week from the coaching staff was, hey, if things don't go our way, this could be your last home game as a Saint in this football uniform. And obviously, I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think that's something that they're planning on. But it's good to help kids understand this thing's coming to an end, and we can't afford to take our eye off the prize for a single second. Doesn't matter who's across the field. We got to play our football game.
Exactly.
So, like you said, Saints come in 6-0. The Warhawks are 1-5. They won their first game of the season and have not won since. They are young, so they definitely will get better as they go, and they're better now than they were 3 weeks ago. Even though the record doesn't show it as teams that they play have gotten stiffer as they've gone along too. So, but the Saints got to show up tonight, play their game, and it should be a great night.
In an 8-game regular season. 2 weeks to go.
2 weeks to go.
We fully expect to win tonight and go 7-0. Of course, like you said, we're going to play. We're going to play the game, right? We're not going to overlook these guys,
You got it.
right? Because they're going to come in hungry.
Yep.
So this should be an exciting night for football. And then next week we're going to go to Lake Mills to finish out the regular season. Hopefully go 8-0. But Lake Mills is also a ranked team too. We're going to come back to those rankings momentarily, but right now we're going to go to a quick message, and we'll be back right after this. If you or someone you know is in the market for quality Iowa farm ground, there's 215 acres available just south of Saint Ansgar. Contact Elaine Govern at Govern Farms and Homes at 641-985-4030 for more information.
Consumer loans for real estate, automobiles, RVs, and dreams. Whether you are buying your first home, taking a dream vacation, or paying for life's little extras, we have a loan that will fit your needs. Saint Ansgar State Bank, local since 1891.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it. Contact Agent Brian Putney with offices in Saint Ansgar and Stacyville, Iowa.
At K2 Agronomy, we embrace a holistic approach to crop production, focusing on soil, seed, and plant health. K2 Agronomy, helping our customers to achieve the maximum return on their investment.
And we are back with the stat leaders coming into tonight. Joe?
Let's start on the Saints side of the ledger here. Starts with Jay Suisau, junior quarterback. The last 2 weeks, he doesn't have a lot of yards passing. We tried some things last week that I think were a few inches from being complete passes, and that happens. He had a touchdown pass last week. Some things looked good. We had a lot of just, like I said, near misses there, and of course the week before with 2.5 inches of rain in 2 hours, we didn't throw the ball much.
No.
So his stats sort of looked the same at 31-58, 448 yards, 8 touchdowns, almost 150 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. His favorite receivers, and I say receivers, there's 2 of them, I think. Dylan Brum gets the lead on the chart this week at 8 catches for 191 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hunter Hillman would be right behind him at 11 catches, 169 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
We kind of go in phases there, don't we?
We
It
do.
seems like we saw a lot of Dylan last weekend. Do you expect to see more Hunter this weekend? Are we going to stay with that or spread it out? What do you think?
I do. I think we're going to continue to see, Carson Sparrow get involved, Hunter Hillman, Dylan Brum, and I think we're putting all of this on film intentionally. I really think it goes back to that. We're really hard to defend, right? Because we just don't know who we're going to focus on, and you get down the road and teams are going to watch a ton of film as we get into the playoffs, and they're going to look and go, oh, okay, watch the Osage game. We got to cover 32. He's the guy we got to cover, right? Watch the North Union game. Never mind. We got to cover 42. We got to get this big tight end. We got to get him covered up. So I think that's a lot of fun and makes our team hard to defend and makes us even better in that passing game. So those are the guys to watch passing game. Rushing-wise, we've talked about the three-headed monster of Christian Michaels, Reagan Witt, and Connor King. Christian's on the board at 37 attempts, 372 yards, 3 touchdowns. Right behind him, Connor King, 353 yards in 60 attempts. So attempt-wise, carries-wise, Connor King leads the way, 353 yards, 8 touchdowns. Reagan Witt then has 44 carries for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. And the same story as our passing game is you just don't know who you're going to get back there from week to week. And we've done a lot of that. There are weeks where Reagan has the carries the load and has 25 carries, and the next week he's got 2. And I don't think that is necessarily a what's working or what's not. It's just what our game plan is for the night.
I agree.
And we vary it very, very well, and makes it very hard to defend. So that we've talked about that all year, and I think it'll continue tonight. We'll see who the hot hand is here in about a half hour.
Yes, we will. It'll be fun to see.
For sure. Defensively, those same 3 guys, our leading stat-wise would be Christian Michaels, 33.5 tackles. He's got a sack, a fumble recovery, and a tackle for loss. Connor King, some of his numbers are getting pretty gaudy here. Listen to this one. Connor King has 22 tackles. 9 of them are for loss. He was an absolute menace last week. Newman couldn't get anything going. After they couldn't get anything going in the run game, and they dropped back to pass, three downs out of 4, in the second half, Connor King was in McGuire's face all day long and really changed that game. Corbin Michaels snuck up there, had a big week last week, 25.5 tackles for baby brother Corbin. So he's hot on Christian's tail as well in terms of numbers. And Reagan Witt with a half over 30 tackles as well. So we've talked about those 3 guys, what they do in the run game. They're doing the same thing defensively as well. And you add that back to the defensive backs that we've got with Dylan Brum, Carson Sparrow, Jay Suisau, Tyke Remster. Again, our defense has been the backbone of this team since the beginning, and I don't think that changes anytime soon.
No, I agree.
So if we go over to the West Fork side of the ball, you're going to hear 2 numbers a lot, number 3 and number 88. Number 3 is their quarterback, Sage Sunken. He's a senior, 380 yards passing on the year, 65 attempts pass-wise. I think what's interesting there, he's got 160 rushing yards as well. So he is their second leading, carrier in terms of rushing as well, and has almost as many attempts, almost as many carries as their leading rusher. So one of two things is happening there. They're either calling his own number for runs, or he's being forced to run because he's running for his life. And I think that's happening, based on the film I watched, I think that's happening quite a bit too. So where he's getting flushed out of the pocket and is going to take off and run. So he's the guy to watch. Receiving-wise, number 88, Eberling, as you'll see here, Sunken has 380 yards passing. Eberling has 348 yards receiving. So that only leaves, 32 yards or so for the whole rest of the guys receiving-wise. So you know who they're looking for offensively. It's 88 that they're looking for, to catch that ball. So 60 carries for A.J. Anderson, who's their senior leading rusher, number 22. 66 carries for 238 yards and a touchdown. So that's their story. I think it'll be a lot like last week, where there'll be nothing doing on the ground, and they're going to quickly go to that pass game and focus on 88, trying to get him the ball. Big, tall guy. They're going to try to get him the ball over the top of some of our defensive backs. It'll be interesting to see how we approach that defensively. For them defensively, look at this number, Eric. A.J. Anderson, who's a senior, has 67.5 tackles on the year. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
That is a huge number. He's obviously their guy defensively. I'm sure we will scheme for that and be ready for that guy.
Two for a loss.
Yeah, 2 for a loss. Yep, you bet. So he is... and sometimes that's not a positive thing to have one guy with a bunch of tackles, especially when he's playing in the spot he's playing. So I think that's a matter of he's getting a bunch of tackles from that deep linebacker spot. Looks like is where he's going to play, watching a little film. So we'll keep an eye on him tonight and see what he looks like defensively. But that's what the stat leaders look like coming into tonight.
Looking at this, just quick thoughts as I look. Their passing yards, their Sage Sunken, his stats really aren't that different than Jay Sweesaw.
Right.
But as you mentioned, when you don't have the other tools in the toolbox, that's the difference between a 6-0 record and a 1-5 record with passing stats that look very similar.
You got it.
We're going to be right back here with some game footage from last week and some analysis from Not Your Average Joe right after this. Stay tuned.
At Johnson Oil, we're in business to be partners in your success.
This broadcast brought to you in part by Colbert Realtors, service you can depend on, know-how you can count on.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Prairie Lakes Church in Osage. Services are every Sunday at 9 and 10:30 a.m.
Harvest is right around the corner, but Farmer State Bank is more than just a bank for farmers. So whether you're a small business owner, a student, or a family, FSB is the right financial solutions for you. We are a family-owned local community bank with 7 locations across North Iowa. Visit one of them today or check out our website at fsbbanks.com.
All right, let's take a look at some West Fork video from last week's game versus North Union.
All right, they start out early in this game with an 11-yard pass. Guess who?
Let me guess. Is it number 88 by chance?
It's number 88 right here on the bottom of your screen. Watch this quick pass. This is what their passing game looks like, and it's what we're going to be challenged to stop tonight, and it's going to 88 a bunch. Back that up with an 11-yard run. Here's a sweep from senior Austin Altick, number 7. You're going to hear that number quite a bit tonight, too, on both sides of the football. Pretty good run here around the end. That defensive end didn't stay home, and he made him pay there around the end. And another 11-yard run. This is a more traditional. They run this wing T offense. This is going to be a straight-up-the-middle trap play from number 22, Anderson. He's also a senior. So they create a little misdirection and run the ball hard up the middle. He's a hard-running guy, big guy, going to try to run you over. 21-yard pass here to, you guessed it, 88, Eberling. Again, a short screen pass. They run a lot of misdirection the other way and set that play up. That's a really, really good play. Defensively, here they get a sack from defensive end. I think we'll see a 5-man front tonight against the Saints rushing attack. They've run a 3, a 4, and a 5 at different points of the season, but you can see they get home there for a sack. 12-yard pass here. This is one of the passes that goes to someone else on the season. This is 34, Waters for his only catch for the season.
That's a rare sighting there.
Yes, it is. Back to Altick here, running the ball on a counter. again, a really well-designed play that works very well for a 24 yards there for Altic.
That's a beautiful play. Really beautifully done on that one.
And then they wrap up this game late in that game. This is their only score of the game, a 15-yard touchdown pass to Eberling. And I want you to watch here what they do. He's on the bottom of your screen, 88, big, tall guy. They're just going to throw this a 50-50 ball. Just throw it up and let your big guy go catch it in the corner of the end zone. That's exactly what they do. So we're going to have to be ready to defend that tonight. They're going to throw balls up, and we can go pick them off. Let's go do that. So West Fork loses last week, 49-6 to North Union.
And if you're interested in some Saints video and breakdown from last week, keep it right here. We'll be right back.
One of the things that we really pride ourselves on at VAT Roofing is the people that sell you your roof, the people that give you estimates are the ones that actually are on the job site every single day, putting shingles on your roof, looking over projects, and just making sure that things are held to the highest quality that you would expect for your home.
Saint Ansgar State Bank has a strong commitment to farmers. We provide the highest level of service with quick turnaround time, competitive interest rates, flexible payment options, and the ability to work with you on any size loan. Our agricultural banking specialists are experienced in farming and understand the important role agriculture credit plays in your operation. Because of our ability to make local credit decisions, we respond quickly to your total agricultural financing needs. Saint Ansgar State Bank, helping you meet your financial goals.
Want to see some Saints highlights?
Let's do it. For those of you who only listened last week, this is your first opportunity to see some of the videos. So here's a 33-yard run from Christian Michaels. This was early in the game. I think our offensive line here, look at how far down the field those guys are, just pushing guys 4 or 5 yards down the field. A great start for the Saints. Cap off that drive with a 13-yard touchdown run here. This is Reagan Witt. You're going to see him. He's used to having to blow guys up to get 13 yards. He is almost untouched.
Not this play.
For the touchdown there for Reagan Witt. Fun play here. Interception, pick 6 for Tyke Remster. Watch Connor King off the defensive end spot. We said he was a menace last week. There's an example of it. He makes McGuire just throw it off balance, and Tyke reads it, picks it off, takes it to the house.
All over that quarterback. He didn't have a chance on that one, and obviously pick 6 should be no surprise after seeing the pressure that Connor King put down the quarterback on that play.
19-yard touchdown pass here. Dylan Brum, really, really well-thrown ball from Jay Schwiesow. Hits Brum. You can see the defender's actually in a pretty good spot. Has an arm in there trying to knock that ball out. Just doesn't get it done. Dylan does a great job of hanging on to it on a well-thrown ball. Here's the Connor King special of the night. He creates the pressure here, forces the fumble, scoop, and score. So he kind of does it all on that play.
And that play, to me, kind of sums up the kind of pressure that Connor King or the Saints in general were putting on that quarterback. What a rough night for Newman, and what a great night for Saint Ansgar last Friday.
Next up, 26-yard touchdown run, one of 3 touchdown runs for Tyson Klein late in that game to seal it. Watch what a great job he does of following his blockers. The offensive line's pushing guys down the field, and he runs it straight ahead for a 26-yard touchdown run. Had one in between here that we're not going to see, and then caps the night off with a 33-yard touchdown run here. Very similar. Offensive line does their job, and he runs it north and south. He's not going to mess around going left and right or east and west. He's going up and down the field. 33-yard touchdown run. Tyson Klein caps off a 61-0 Saint Ansgar victory.
Big game for Saint Ansgar. The score there is wrong, but you had mentioned it before. Look at the rushing yards. 299 to 11.
299 to 11. That's Saint Ansgar football. We're going to win a whole bunch of football games with those kind of stats.
What a game for Saint Ansgar. Hey, for those of you who are familiar with Not Your Average Joe's Completely Average Polls, that's coming up next. And if you're not familiar, stick around. You're going to want to see this.
Nah, man. It's not a broadcast. It's a broadcastation.
And now for a segment we like to call Not Your Average Joe's Completely Average Polls.
Yeah, so let's recap what these are about. There are 7 unofficial polls done by media groups, websites, etc., throughout the state of Iowa in each class. So we did the heavy lifting of, Googling all of those and then averaging them together so you have an idea. It's kind of a fun exercise every week to see what these polls, what we found, are really biased based on the area, right? You get KMA does one, which I think is out of Sioux Falls or Sioux City, and theirs is heavily balanced towards teams in their area. The metro area teams get better votes down around Des Moines, so it's kind of fun to put them together. Saint Ansgar continues to lead in those average polls, followed by Woodbury Central, a team that's kind of a mystery to me. We're gonna find out what they're all about. Obviously, that's a long ways from here, so just a team we're not very familiar with. It'll be fun to see how that plays out. And then followed directly by a team that we are very familiar with West Hancock. We know what they're all about. They're up to 3 this week. Past Madrid, who continues to be unbeaten. There are 6 undefeated teams out of these 10 on this list. Lisbon is also one of those undefeated teams. Hasn't been tested since week 1. So that just the district that they play in, it is what it is. ACGC right behind them in 6, Linville, Sully in 7. Wapsie Valley is rocketing up the charts. They are up to 8 this week. They appear to be the real deal there in their district, and so that'll be a lot of fun to see how that plays out the next couple of weeks. Of course, that's a team St. Ansgar's familiar with, played in the playoffs last year and have played throughout the years fairly frequently. Akron Westfield enters the poll at number 9. Nashua Plainfield falls out. They were upset last week, lost a game that they weren't expected to lose to Southwind, so they drop out. Lake Mills remains number 10. If we contrast that, then, we talked about last week. Last week was the first official IHSAA Class A poll that was released last week. It's updated every week now and will be throughout the playoffs. This poll is the one that matters. Ours is for fun. This one is what matters. They say they'll use this for playoff positioning, seeding, who plays who when, all of those kind of things. They're going to use that throughout the playoffs. So this is, again, a 6-member board. I believe there are 3 IHSAA staffers, 2 former coaches, and a media member on this committee that sets these polls. So St. Ansgar remains number 1, Woodbury Central, West Hancock, Madrid, Lisbon. The top 5 is the same in our completely average poll as it is in the official poll. From that point forward, it changes. Wapsie Valley getting a ton of respect in this poll, up to 6. ACGC 7, Linville Sully at 8. Lake Mills and Akron Westfield are flopped from the averaged poll versus the official poll at 9 and 10. Of note, we said there were 6 undefeated teams in Class A. Number 9 plays number 3 this week. West Hancock will play Lake Mills tonight. Lake Mills is one of those undefeated teams. We will see. And I know I've heard some grumbling that nobody respects Lake Mills. Well, they got a chance to prove it tonight
yes,
that they belong.
Yes,
and
they do.
So we'll keep an eye on that one throughout this game tonight. Try to get you some score updates if we can find them on Twitter. We'll try to get them out to you so you can see those as well. So big night for Lake Mills tonight to go see what they're all about. And of course, your Saints go to Lake Mills next week to wrap up the regular season.
Bound to be a big game, and barring a tie between Lake Mills and West Hancock, there's one of these 6 undefeated teams is going to get defeated.
That's right.
So we're going to be right back after this with the offensive and defensive lineups. Stay tuned. All right, let's take a look at the lineups for tonight, Joe.
Yeah, so something new this week. We're going to try to highlight the offensive and defensive starters for both teams. So you start with your Saints, no changes there. But let's go through them. Tight end Hunter Hillman, we talked about him earlier. Let's talk about these linemen. We don't give them enough credit. We don't talk enough about them. Jacob Eberling, left tackle. Chase Nedved on the left guard. Dylan Hansen is your center. Matthew Easley, right guard, and Braden Halverson at the right tackle position. I believe that's been our starting lineup all season. Those guys have played fantastically up front, and they get better every week. That's I know when you talk to the coaching staff, they say that's been one of the changes that they needed to see from week 1, and we've seen it. We've seen those guys get better and do their job up front. We've got a couple of sophomore mixed in there, junior and 3 seniors that are doing their job up front. Tyke Remster at the receiver spot, Jay Swisow, Reagan Witt, Connor King, and Christian Michaels round out our offense. For West Fork, we'll highlight a couple of guys. We talked about number 88, who is Eberling, Cade Eberling. Obviously, he's the guy to watch tonight offensively. Number 7, Altic, is going to run the ball quite often as well. and then A.J. Anderson in there, and quarterback Sage Sunken. So that's kind of their guys to watch offensively. Defensively, we go through our lineup. Again, let's talk about those guys up front. Hunter Hillman, Dylan Hanson, Chase Nedvett, and Connor King doing work up front on our defensive line. That is the same lineup as we had last week, and man, did they play well last week. From our linebacker spots, Christian Michaels, Reagan Witt, and Corbin Michaels in those 3 linebacker positions. And in our defensive backfield with Tyke Remster, Dylan Brum, Carson Sparrow, and Jay Suisow. For West Fork, we talked about that Anderson, number 22. He, has 67 or 68 tackles, something like that. So he's their guy to watch from that middle linebacker spot. Like I said, it looks like he plays deep quite often and is going to make a bunch of tackles up the middle tonight. So that's what we look like offensively and defensively, starting positions.
So taking in tonight's game, a week from tonight is the final game of the regular season. The Saints will travel to Lake Mills. That will be live. That will be played live here on Saints TV. But let's take a look at the playoff picture. Yeah. It's so exciting this time of the year when you start to talk about, okay, look, this is the fruits of what we've been working on all year. We come into tonight 6-0. We expect to win tonight. Obviously, these guys. The coach said it earlier on in the season when he mentioned this team isn't great yet, but we hope to be, and it feels like we're just getting better every single week. So let's take a look at the playoff picture. What does it look like for us here, Joe?
So I think this is a great start, a good opportunity to just take a look ahead at what might happen. So let's assume the Saints win these last 2 games, win tonight and win next week at Lake Mills. Those first 3 playoff games should be at home. And what a fun deal for the semifinal round of the championship are obviously played in the Dome in Cedar Falls. So next week we'll take a look at this again and kind of what that might look like, and we can start to do some fun eliminate turnovers. We talked about winning the turnover battle and limiting turnovers. No, I think that time of year is done. Now it's eliminate turnovers. And I know that was something the coaches emphasized this week. Yeah, we won it 4 turnovers to 1 last week, but we had the 1. So how do we get a couple of teams have picked us apart, right? Nashville put a pretty good drive together in the rain with a couple of those. We talked to the kids about is climb that mountain and take one more step. Maybe let's take a ladder of steps tonight. Let's go up 1,000 feet up the side of that mountain tonight, because we're going to have to be better in 3 weeks than we are tonight.
Love it, love it. Sounds so simple. They just need to execute. Hey, guess what's coming next? Guess what is coming next, Joe? It's game time. For those of you who are watching, we did a little bit of fast forward in that last part, cut out some of the language. You saw, you know what the keys of the game are. It's game time. So we didn't want to miss the kickoff to the game here with some of the pregame stuff that we had done. That, by the way, was pre-recorded so that we could kind of get things. No, I don't
give away our secrets.
Spoiler alert. Well, that last part was. The last part was. So. But we wanted to make sure that you got the keys to the game. If you need to rewind it, feel free to. But we are getting ready for kickoff. And this is Candle Genius here. I got Not Your Average Joe to my left. We got a couple from the Saint Ansgar Stream team who will go somewhat unnamed, but their initials are Kyler and Ethan, helping us out here on the cameras. We got Ethan on the sideline cam. We got Kyler up above on the main cam. And we are getting ready for Saints kickoff right now.
Saints win the toss to Fur. So West Fork will receive. Connor King on to kick it off on a 50-degree night. Here it is football weather. The wind is about half of what it was an hour ago, so it's almost tolerable, Eric. The kick is taken by one of the up men at the 20-yard line. Up the middle he goes, across the 30, out to the 40, where he's brought down by Christian Michaels and Dylan Brum. That was Sage Sunken, the quarterback, on the return there. So good start for West Fork. Good field position about the 39-yard line to start this game. Like I said, we had a 35-mile wind all day for those of you listening in Great Britain and all across the world. So it's down to, 10 or 15, which is going to allow the passing games to work. An hour ago, I'd have told you we wouldn't see a lot of throwing tonight.
All day I was thinking that same thing. I thought, man, this is going to be a running game all night tonight. And this is going to be a cold one at that, but that wind has died down.
Sunken fumbles the snap. Down everybody goes. We don't have a sign yet. It looks like it'll be second down. The Warhawks recover. Looks like Sunken gets back on it. So that's senior quarterback Sage Sunken. In the backfield is 22 A.J. Anderson and 7 Austin Altick. That's their main running attack. And then passing-wise, as we talked about, most of those passes are going to go to 88. Big tight end out here. They're going to run the wing T offense tonight at us. So it is 2nd down and 11. Sunken hands it off. Trying the left side. Breaks a tackle. Spins ahead for a nice gain there. That's Owen Schmidt on the carry. So he gets 3, maybe 4, gets that yard back that they lost. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 for West Fork. Important drive for them. They know they're outnumbered tonight, outmatched a bit. They're very, very young, especially defensively. So they need a quick start here. They know that. I expect we'll see some fireworks here. Quick hitch pass there into the backfield. I believe he dropped it. Passing complete. That'll bring up 4th down. So that was one of those quick out passes to Eberling to 88 to that big tight end. He's unable to handle it. And that'll be, he did catch it. He just went down right away, it looks like, is what we had happening there. See if we got that one on camera.
Try and back that up. There we go.
There we go.
Try to get the sideline cam on that one.
So 4th down. The Warhawks look to be punting here. Tyke Remster receives. Fakes the handoff to Dylan Brumman. Around the end he goes. Midfield. Nobody. Tyke Remster is gone. Touchdown, Saints. Tyke Remster with a 65-yard touchdown return to get Saint Ansgar on the board early in this one.
Wow, Tyke Remster.
That little fake handoff had everybody else going the other way.
It really did.
And he did the rest. Open field, nobody in front of him. He turned the burners on, and it's very quickly 6-0 Saints.
So we're going to watch the extra point here, and then we do have the replay on that.
Yeah, you watch the blocking on that replay when you get a chance to do that. It's going to be, you're going to see some impressive blocks. For now, Connor King on to kick the extra point. Reagan Witt's the snapper. Jay Schwiesow is the holder. Good snap. Good hold. Kick is up.
Wow.
And it is good.
That thing was all the way to the moon. Let's take a look at that replay here while these guys get reset. We got a couple different vantage points on that one. So we're going to move to the up above cam here. That's Remster on that, moving around the outside.
Look at the middle of the field.
It's
all sealed off.
It is absolutely sealed off. We're going to take another look at that here from the sideline cam. What an incredible play for the Saints to kick it off. Here's that fake handoff. Everybody is fooled by it.
Yep. And then just a whole bunch of guys sealing the line here on that side. And Tyke says, thank you kindly.
Yes, he does.
That's fun. That's a great start to this football game for the Saints, and exactly what West Fork didn't need to have happen. They couldn't. They can't afford those kind of mistakes tonight, and the Saints capitalized early on their first one. So Connor will do the kicking again. We'll kick it off here. Looks like we have Sunken back to receive the kick, and I believe Eberling's back there as well. Yep, 88-3. So went to Sunken the first time. On the top of your screen, let's see what we do this time. Good return last time, so the Saints will look to clean that up. Good deep kick, fielded by Eberling at the 12. Reagan Witt forces him to the sideline. Ooh. And then I believe that's Dylan Brum does the rest, forces him out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Much better there on the return for the Saints return team to force him out of bounds at the 27-yard line, where it'll be first down West Fork, trailing 7-0. Just 2.5 minutes gone, not even 2.5 minutes gone in this football game. A big return for Tyke Remster, punt return for a touchdown, has the Saints leading 7-0 early if you just joined us. So back on offense for the second time. Be the Warhawks of West Fork. Quarterback keeps. Nothing doing. Nothing doing. We had 4 or 5 guys in the backfield. Brought down by one of the linemen, I believe, at least started that direction, forced him into Joe Clevenger, I believe, who finished him off, made the tackle there in the middle from the linebacker spot. So they lose 3 yards on that play, going to be 2nd and 13. Just nothing doing in the run game. Looks a lot like last week in terms of our defensive line just isn't allowing any push from their offensive line early in this game. Sunken back to pass. Throws it out to the flat where it's incomplete. Pass was intended for Dax Sunken, a sophomore.
That's pretty empty out there that time. You think, was there some confusion? Was it the blocking? What do you see there, Joe?
It looked to me like maybe the receiver broke it out towards the sideline instead of up the field, and maybe there was a little confusion there, or he just was under pressure, and I just got to get rid of this thing, and I'm going to throw it somewhere where nobody can catch it. Instead of putting it in parallel, our coverage was very good there downfield. So it's very quickly 3rd down and 13 for the Warhawks at the 25-yard line. Puts a man in motion, hands it off up the middle. We get a flag and a whistle early. That'll be a false start on the Warhawks, backing them up 5 more. That'll make it 3rd down and 18. Not what West Fork needed here at the start of this game. They can't afford the mistakes. So the Saints will look to pin their ears back here on 3rd and 18. I expect we'll get another handoff and a run up the middle here as West Fork, I imagine, doesn't want to compound that mistake by making a big one here on 3rd and forever. So ball's all the way back to the 20-yard line. Just 9:07 left in the first quarter here. Back to pass is Sunken. To prove me wrong, it's picked off. Intercepted. Joe Clevenger, 10-5, touchdown Saints. Drew Clevenger, pick 6.
Wow.
Joe Clevenger, pick 6. That was just a read. I hope we get that on the defense because he absolutely saw it coming, read it the whole way, and says, I think I'll just step in front of that thing and we'll take it to the house. So Joe Clevenger, quickly, it is 13-0 Saints. 2 big plays, both go St. Ansgar's way here early. Connor King on to make it 14-0. We had a little delay on the snap. I think we might get a motion penalty on your Saints here. They're going to talk about it. Looks like one of those penalties. Chase was trying to get the snap to come out, and we were just a little out of whack there, so it is a motion penalty on your Saints. That'll back it up 5 yards. Connor's last extra point was good from about 35, so let's see if we can get that same boot on it here. He's done really well kicking extra points the last couple of weeks. This is not the announcer's curse. This one is going through as well.
Well, you're about to prove that. I don't think that there's much chance that anything you say up here is really going to affect what goes on down there, but we're about to find out.
Yes, we are. Kick is up. It is good. Again, had 15 more yards on it. Really nice kick. Connor King makes it 14-0 Saints. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. What a blazing start. The Saints offense has yet to touch the ball, yet they lead 14-0.
You want to take a look at that replay on that touchdown?
It.
Let's take a look at that right here.
So watch Joe. He can feel that, right? This is a pass. I got to cover this zone. Boom, hits it. And just nobody between him and the goal line. He says thank you.
His hands are out. He knows he's going to get his hands on it before the offense does.
Yep.
And he just delivers.
Smart football player makes a smart football play there.
You got it. You got it. Here it is from the sideline cam. Same play. Head down and let's just head to the end zone.
Let's get into the end zone. 14-0 Saints. 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. So here we go again. Saints will kick it off. Back to returner Eberling and Sunken. You know, the wind was not supposed to go down, but it is nearly calm here all of a sudden.
It really is.
So that's good. I think that'll give the Saints, when the Saints offense gets a chance here, they will work on some of those passing plays we've been talking about the last few weeks. Squib kick here, hits an up man. is fielded there at the 25 and returned to the 30-yard line where he's brought down by Toby Kennedy, Reagan Witt, and a host of Saints. So that's Altick on the return there, number 7. And West Fork will try again. Down 14-0, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line.
Pretty good capture from the sideline, Cam.
Very nice. Shows
Great
that
down.
textbook tackle there.
Yep, great job down there, Ethan.
All right, Sunken under center here, puts a man in motion, hands it off to the up man. Nothing doing. That goes to the fullback, A.J. Anderson. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Our defensive front and the linebackers behind him are just reading plays so well and getting a great push. It's going to be very hard for teams to run on us if we continue to play like we've been playing. There's no room up the middle
There
at
really
all.
isn't. There really. We saw last week. We saw Newman abandon that very early, and they had to go to the pass. But honestly, I don't know what else they could do other than go to the pass and keep their fingers crossed. It didn't work out for them, obviously, but we are stout in the middle.
Yep. Handoff goes to the outside here. They try the right side. I believe that's Altick. Gains 5 on the play, 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Nice gain there. That is Owen Schmidt. That is number 1. Reagan Whitten on the tackle. Hard tackle there. So it'll be 3rd and 6. Big play for the Warhawks early in this game. Down 14-0 already. They need a first down here. Going to spread us out a bit. 3 receivers on the top of your screen. Sunken's going to roll out to his left. Hits a wide open receiver. That's Altick, who rolls ahead to midfield for a first down. Exactly what they had drawn up. Somebody got lost in coverage there. So the wide open receiver is hit, and they roll out to almost midfield here. It looks like they're going to mark him out at the 47-yard line. First down, Warhawks. They needed that one, to state the obvious, I guess. But I'm sure that will... That'll inspire a little confidence in them and get them running. We had a little miscommunication in our defense. Not sure what happened there, but obviously not designed to be that open. The Saints will have to clean that one up.
No doubt about it. Yeah, there was a lot of open field around them.
Sunken hands it off. A little counter here to A.J. Anderson. Fights ahead for a yard. I didn't see who was in on the tackle there. Glenn says Reagan Witt was in on the tackle, and I believe his eagle eye spotter was on that one. So we'll give the tackle to Reagan.
Here's your replay. You can take a look and see. Yeah. Is that Reagan had him by the foot?
Had him by the foot. Yep, exactly right. That's a great tackle by Reagan. Just to get a piece of him and hang on. Second and 9 from the 49-yard line. We got a pre-snap penalty here. Offsides on your Saints.
Offsides is strong against the Saints. 5-yard penalty.
That's one you don't often see. So I'll have to take a look at that one on film. We'll clean that up as well. So that makes it 2nd and very manageable for West Fork. 2nd and 4, and takes the ball across midfield into Saints territory. Under center, Sunken. Hands it off. Tries the right side of the line. Nothing doing. Loses 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Just a mass of humanity there in the middle of that offensive line, defensive line, and nowhere to go. And that's Owen Schmidt again, number 1. You see Chase Nedved.
Chase, and we see Christian.
It's just, yeah. You know, and Chase is supposed to, an offensive line guy's supposed to be blocking him, and he's shedding that tackler or that blocker and getting in there. And when you can do that on a defensive line in the interior, you're going to disrupt a whole lot of that interior running game. Sunken's going to keep, tries the left side, tackled really well there by Jay Schwiesow. I believe caught him from behind coming around the end there. Good pursuit by the Saints. There's 4 or 5 Saints there, and that'll be 4th down. Really no gain on the play, so we'll call it 4th and 6. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The Saints lead 14-0. I believe this will be go for it territory. Who's in pursuit? That's Connor King there around the end. Coming in, does a really nice job there of limiting that to no gain play. So they are going for it here on 4th down. He puts a man in motion. Timeout, West Fork. Coach didn't like what he saw there, decided time to think this one over, and calls a timeout. Smart timeout there, a big play for West Fork. So they call timeout with 5 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Saints lead 14-0.
Here's another look at that last play from up above. You kind of see what's going on around them. It's collapsing, making a go for it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Too many red jerseys.
Too many red jerseys. Corbin Michaels forces him back inside where we've got Connor King and Jace and Hunter Hillman, and yeah.
Hey, during this timeout, let's take a moment to thank our friends at Farmer State Bank and Grain Millers, who paid for every student to attend every game for free, every home game, that is, for free. That is a generous, generous offer from Farmer State Bank and Grain Millers. Thank you so much for your contributions. We really appreciate that. Hey, you know what? We're going to take a moment here and thank, oh, by the way, look at this. Look at this. Found this little butter nutrition tip. Butter is slippery. That's why when we eat as much as possible, that's why we eat as much as possible, to lubricate our arteries and veins. Not true, folks. Don't believe that nonsense.
That's a great health tip brought to you by Saints TV.
But we have partnered with Give Butter. We'll come back to this slide here because it looks like the game is kicking off again. But we partnered with Give Butter to help keep this live stream alive from those who are at home watching the game that want to participate in donating to our cause. So we got
West Fork punts it away. Tyke Remster catches, drops it, picks it back up, and is down at the 24-yard line. So the Saints offense gets their first opportunity of the night with a 14-point lead, which is nice. As an offensive player, you like that when you haven't touched the ball yet and you have the opportunity to have a 2-score lead. The defense has clearly done their job.
Exactly.
So the Saints will start 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Let's see if we can put a long offensive drive together here. You can see on that replay, I think Tyke was running before he caught it there, and it did the smart thing of getting on it and making sure he had possession.
He wanted another one of those run back.
Absolutely. Running up the middle, I believe that's Christian Michaels. Plows ahead for 8 yards, maybe 9 on 1st down. It is Christian. 8-yard gain, be 2nd down and 2. Nice job of blocking up front. Christian does a great job of just running north and south and going through, not dancing around. He's not messing around. He's going to hit that hole hard and very quickly picks up 8 yards. Jace under center here, back to pass. Ball is caught by Hunter Hillman at the 40-yard line. He rolls ahead to the 44-yard line where it'll be 1st down Saints. Great protection. Jace had plenty of time to sit back there. Good route by Hunter Hillman. Makes the catch. Sage Sunken in on the tackle, but not before the Saints gain 10 on the play. Oh, good gain. Good gain there. Good pass. Again, that's something I think the Saints are going to work on. I think we'll see quite a bit of that tonight. Maybe right here, Jason the shotgun. We have a timeout on the field. Let's see what we get here. West Fork calls another timeout. They didn't like what they had called defensively. We don't start in the shotgun very often.
No, we do not. No, sir, we do not.
So I think wisely West Fork decides, let's take a timeout here and get our guys in position where we want them. Something exciting was going to happen there. Let's see if we can run that same play when we come back.
Agreed. So we're going to go back to the slide here. No, of course, the magazine ad from however long ago it was is not for real. But I thought we'd share it here because Saints TV has partnered with Give Butter. What is Give Butter? Well, it's just an app. It's an app that we use to give people a place to donate to keeping this stream free. So last week's or this month so far, our Butter Giver Award goes to David and Lois McNutt, who are the higher givers on our Give Butter campaign, with honorable mentions to those that you see here on this slide. You know what? That was a quick timeout. We'll come back to
these
that
refs
later,
are keeping this thing moving. Back in the shotgun. Jace back to pass. Quick hitter out to Connor King, who catches it behind the line of scrimmage, rolls around the right side, gets a block from Hunter Hillman, and turns nothing into an 8-yard game.
I got to believe that is not how that play was designed.
I think you might be right. But as it turns out, it turns into a nice game for the Saints. Connor makes something out of nothing there. And shout out to Hunter Hillman, who throws a really nice block to get those last 3 or 4 yards on that side of it. And good decision by Connor. He's clearly, in danger there. That's Dak Sunken, who's there going to be there to make the tackle. Connor King gets the handoff on the sweep, rolls ahead for a first down. Saints. So the Saints move into West Fork territory at about the 44-yard line. It'll be first down. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Saints lead 14-0. This is their first offensive drive if you're just joining us. They have they have a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown. Let's see if we can get an offensive touchdown here on this drive.
If you would have told me it was going to be 7 minutes before, which it was nearly 7 minutes before the Saints took the first offensive snap, I would have said, oh no.
Right, right. Quick swing pass out to Connor King in the left flat. Breaks the tackle up the sideline. Connor King, touchdown Saints. Connor King with a 44-yard touchdown run makes it 20-0 Saint Ansgar.
Wow.
Watch it, just a simple route, good pass, hits him right in the hands, and then our blockers downfield do the work, right? Dylan gets a really nice block there, Dylan Brum does, and then Connor King makes a guy miss and does rest. Great work out of the sideline cam there to get a great shot of Connor King taking it up the sideline for a 44-yard touchdown pass. So we have our defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown, and an offensive touchdown to start this game, all in the first 8 minutes of play. Connor King's extra point is good. 21-0 Saints, 3:42 to go in the first quarter. And it's been all Saint Ansgar to start this one. Yeah, look at the blocking, right? Christian Michaels gets a nice block in there. I saw Dylan Brown, and there's a guy I keep missing. There's somebody else that does a good job there of throwing a nice block. And the receivers and the running backs will tell you that. We get all the credit, but the guys who are doing the blocking, it wouldn't be possible without them. Whether that's
absolutely the unsung heroes, right?
You got it.
But we're here to sing about them.
Yep.
So between replay and what we can see up here, we're going to sing about you guys. All right, we're going to go back to the slide. So, honorable mentions. These people donated to the Give Butter campaign. Phil and Karen Clevenger, Jeremy Patterson, Tony Heimer, Tracy Swift, Linda Cruzy, Michelle Horgan, Hudson Sparrow. These are all great people. There's a QR code here on the big screen. We also have that thing swiping through the entire game here on the game cam, as you can see up above. Feel free to scan the QR code and help us keep this
we really
totally free.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. If you want to be the butter giver of the week, now you know how to get that done.
I want to do that.
Huh? Absolutely.
Thought about
Thanks to Dave and Lois for starting us off there with a great donation. We appreciate that very much. Connor King back to kick it off. 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. Saints lead 21-0. Sunken on the return here. Takes it to the 25, falls ahead to the 26-yard line. Good job by the Saints coverage team there again. Toby Kennedy gets off the bottom of the pile. He's been a missile on the coverage team the last couple of weeks. Done a great job covering kicks.
Warhawks on their own 27-yard line.
And when we say host of Saints, that's what we mean in that replay right there. There's a host of them now. So West Fork back to work offensively. Sunken under center. Okay, fakes a handoff and a pitch and then gives it to Altick, who goes nowhere. In fact, he did go somewhere. He went backwards. 5-yard loss on the play.
Austin Altick on the carry. Tackle for loss by number 42, Hunter Hillman.
Hunter Hillman in on the tackle. just relentless pursuit here from behind. And again, you could right, you give that tackle to 3 or 4 guys that are in there. Relentless pursuit, big push by the defensive line allows that to happen.
Admittedly, when I host anything, I like to be a little more inviting, but I don't mind watching that.
Carrier on the end by Altick here. Gets a little space, gets that 5 yards back, plus another one, so a gain of 6 on the play. Joe Clevenger in on the tackle. Joe's played a bunch of that linebacker spot the last few weeks, has done a great job. Just a sophomore. A lot of football ahead of him yet. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for West Fork, trailing 21-0. Ball to 29-yard line. See what they have drawn up here. Back to pass. Quick pass out to Eberling. We thought we'd see this quite a bit tonight. Saints got to make a good tackle here, and they do. Dylan Brum with a great tackle on the sideline. We do have a flag in the backfield in the area of holding, and that is what it is. Holding West Fork, so that will back them up 10 more yards. That penalty is declined, so Coach Clevenger decides to decline that penalty, and we'll keep it 4th down. So we decide to take the down instead of the penalty. It'll be 4th down and 8. Look at the tackle there by Dylan Brum. Really good job on a guy who's hard to tackle, big guy.
Yeah, he is.
Long guy, hard to tackle there. Does a nice job getting him down. Allows us to decline that penalty, make it 4th down, and West Fork will punt it away. Dylan Brum and Tyke Remster back to receive.
64.
Short punt. And it'll stay on their side of the field. Goes out of bounds. At about the 38-yard line, looks like. About a 8-yard punt. Yeah, about
that
an
punt
8-yard
did not
punt.
come off his foot right for whatever reason.
Yep, so another big miscue for West Fork. Goes St. Ansgar's way, so they're going to have a short field here. 1st down and 10, ball at the 35-yard line of the Warhawks. So the offense will have a second crack at it here.
We got a chat here from Skippy D'Angelo.
We appreciate Skippy chiming in tonight.
Skippy, thanks for listening. Hopefully you're chatting from the stands.
Jace with a quick hitter pass. Out to, somebody help me with, is that Dylan Brum, I believe? I think it was Dylan out there in the flat on the top of the screen. Have a penalty at the end of the play as well.
All right, so Glenn agrees with you as Dylan. Here's a replay to catch that a little slower. See what's going on with
personal foul on the West Forks. Insult to injury here. That'll add 15 to the end of that successful pass play. And the Saints are quickly into the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. I didn't see what happened there. If we got just a late hit out of bounds. He took him down well out of bounds. Handoff here up the middle. Charging ahead inside the 10-yard line is Connor King. Connor with a 7-yard run on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 3. Looks like the ball's about the 10-yard line for the Saints. Back in the wishbone formation here. Chase under center. Hands it off to Christian Michaels, who runs up the middle. Touchdown, Saints. Christian Michaels, 9-yard touchdown run, makes it 27-0 Saints with 1:56 to go here in the first quarter. It has been all Saints here early in this one. The offensive line again made a hole you could drive a Mack truck through, and Christian Michaels does the rest. Would-be tackler right at the goal line, not enough. Touchdown, Christian Michaels. 27-0 Saints. Connor King on to make it 28. Reagan Witt with the snap. Jace Suisa with the hold. The kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 Saints, a minute 56 to go in the first quarter. This one has quickly gotten out of hand here in Saint Ansgar. Great start for the Saints. They've only had 2 offensive possessions, 2 touchdowns, a special teams touchdown with a punt return, and a defensive touchdown with a pick 6 for Joe Clevenger. We have seen it all in the first 10 minutes of football tonight.
We really have. It's still first quarter, folks. Don't change that dial. And we're going to be back here. We're going to go ahead and take a little message break here. We'll be back right after this.
Soy, wax, beads. The foundation of better candle making is built on cleaner burning, soy-based candle wax. American Soy Organics. Better wax for candle makers, by candle makers.
Leaving your crops unprotected from droughts, floods, hailstorms, and pests can leave a farmer at serious risk of losing their equipment and their land, putting their family's future.
Back to Saint Ansgar. Here we go. They're going to keep this game moving. So breaks are short here tonight, which is just fine with us. The game will get shorter. Once we get to that 35-point differential, the clock will run. It does not matter. It used to have to be the second half. It no longer does. It will run at any point that there's a 35-point differential. So that's the next mark for the Saints as they kick it off. Eberling takes it at about the 15-yard line, returns it up the right side, across the 30, down to the 33-yard line, where West Fork will start 1st and 10 with less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Toby Kennedy, Reagan Witt in on the tackle there. Like I said, we say those 2 names a lot on kick coverage. Both those guys do their job. That's a credit to Toby and his commitment to this team, right? He's a senior. That's his job, is kickoff guy. He's that defender there that's going to stop that play, and he does his job really, really well. And that's a complimentary Saints football. Love to see that. Handoff up the middle. Nothing doing up the middle. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball up the middle on us. That one goes to Dax Sunken. No gain on the play. Lost a half yard likely. Going to be 2nd down and 10. So we'll see if this game progresses like last week, where they abandon that inside run game and try to go more pass. They don't have the weapons that Newman has to be able to do that as well, but I wonder how much longer we'll attempt that. It looks like they're going to abandon it here out of the shotgun. Sunken throws it deep to Cade Eberling.
Wow.
And it is caught. Nice catch, nice throw across the 50-yard line into Saints territory for a 1st down, West Fork. And I think that's what they're going to have to do tonight. And our defense is going to have to figure that out, right? They have a guy who's got 350 yards receiving. We can't let him be that wide open on any play. So the Saints will take a look at that one, make an adjustment, and figure that play out.
And Hunter Hillman's coming on that one. I mean, he is coming. So that ball's got to come out when it came out.
Yep.
Or that's going to be a big-time sack for a loss, maybe a turnover.
Yep. Instead, it's a
good
1st
job
down.
on that. That was good.
Sunken back to pass again. He was going to do it again, just lob it up there. Instead, he decides to hit the underneath man, who catches it. Again, a 1st down. That's Austin Altick for a 1st down at the 32-yard line. So West Fork's put a nice drive together here with under a minute to go in the first quarter. They are well inside Saints territory, their best drive of the night. On a couple of pass plays, not surprisingly. And I think that's what they're going to have to do to try to stay in this game, is throw the football. So back under center goes the quarterback here. So just say, as soon as I say they're going to have to throw it, they're going to run it here to keep a little balance, which is probably smart. Hands it off to Altick, and he goes nowhere. Runs right into the teeth of that defensive line. Joe Clevenger, Hunter Hillman, Cheesy, and others meet him at the point of attack for a gain of 1.
Yeah, that's Reagan right there on his feet immediately on that. There's nothing they can do about that.
No, exactly right. You said Reagan was in there early on that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His feet wrapped up. And
when your feet go out from underneath you, it's really hard to keep that pile moving forward.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 9. This will be the last play of the quarter here. Sunken under center again. Back to pass. Pressured by Nesvet. Rolls out. Runs ahead for a gain of 5 on the play. Again, looking for that deep pass. Wasn't open. Smartly pulls the ball down and turns nothing into a positive gain there to make it a 3rd and manageable. We'll call it 3rd and 3 when we start the second quarter. So your Saints lead 28-0 here at the end of the first quarter, but West Fork is driving. Student section's loud tonight. You probably can hear them through our mics doing their job. Looks like it's a Western night, perhaps? Cowboy night? I don't know what you want to...
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's cowboy night.
I see a few cowboy hats. I see some boots. I see a little camouflage. We got it all here at the student section. They continue to do a great job supporting their team.
We'll take a quick break here. We'll come right back with quarter number 2, 28-0 Saints. If you or someone you know is in the market for quality Iowa farm ground, there's 215 acres available just south of Saint Ansgar. Contact Elaine Govern at Govern Farms and Homes at 641-985-4030 for more information.
Consumer loans for real estate, automobiles, RVs, and dreams. Whether you are buying your first home, taking a dream vacation, or paying for life's little extras, we have a loan that will fit your needs. Saint Ansgar State Bank. Local since 1890.
Oh, yeah.
On 3rd down and 3, they run a quick little hitter up the middle. They are going to be short. It will be 4th down. Not much doing there.
Those guys got set quick on that one.
Yeah, they did. And they were trying to catch the Saints defense off guard as well. I believe that was just a QB sneak of just line it up and away they go. So they end up just about a half a football short here. 4th down and 1. Big play here. Saints defense looks to hold here after a nice West Fork drive. Sunken rolls out. He's going to keep. Finds a seam and runs ahead for a 1st down. Nice job there by Sage Sunken, the senior quarterback. He avoids a tackle in the backfield, was going to get brought down short of the line to gain, avoids a tackle there, finds a seam, and runs ahead for a 3-yard gain to make it 1st down Warhawks. Have a score update from Lake Mills, or from West Hancock. I believe the game's at West Hancock. West Hancock is up 16-0 with 4:20 to go in the first half there.
16-0. That's a game that we got to keep our eyes on tonight. Yep. Not two undefeated. Two ranked
teams. Yep. And Lake Mills is the undefeated team there. Sunken under center, hands it off. Nothing doing there again in the running game. Trying to get the ball outside, just not quick enough to beat our defense to that outside. That's Owen Schmidt on the carry. Loses a yard. So it's 2nd and 11. Ball on the 20-yard line. Just the start of the second quarter here. Saints lead 28-0. Good pursuit there. Is that, it sure is. That's Tyson Klein. Does a really nice job from that spot on the outside. Force him out where he can be tackled short of the gain. Back to pass is Sunken into the corner of the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown. No. Incomplete. He caught it. Must not have gotten a foot down. Good defense there. Dylan Brum, perhaps? Where's that replay at? We'll take a look there. Somebody forced him out. He caught the ball. I believe that's Eberling again.
So here comes the pass here. We watch the passes coming in here on this replay that you're about to see.
Oh.
Hold on, let me back that up just a little bit here.
Jay Swiesau's there to help the side judge tell him that was out of bounds. That is Dylan Brum. Dylan Brum does a nice job of not allowing him to come down after making the catch. So the Warhawks will try again. 3rd down and 11. Back to pass. Over the left side and caught. But short of the 1st down. Caught by Eberling. It'll be 4th down and 1 from about the 10-yard line. So nice pitch and catch there. I tell you what, that guy's hard to defend. He's so long and so tall, and Sunken throws a nice ball.
Yeah.
Our defender's right there.
Look how he stretches out on that. My goodness, man.
Yep.
Wow.
Is that Carson there on the tackle?
That is number 8.
Number 8.
Carson
That's Carson
Sparrow.
Sparrow in on the tackle. Great defense. Just really hard to defend that really well thrown ball in a perfect spot where only his guy can catch it. And, of course, it helps his guy 6'4". So West Fork calls their final timeout of the first half here with 9:12 to go in the second quarter. Again, big play, 4th and 1. They got to talk about it. They've converted 2 4th downs on this drive, or is it just one? And this is the attempt at the second one, something like that. They've continued to try to keep the Saints offense off the field, and they've done it all through the air. I can't imagine that they don't have negative. I'm sure they have negative yards rushing. They have done all just like Newman did in the first half last week. So it has all been through the air. Good test for your Saints defense, passing-wise, pass defense-wise. It's what we'll see again down the road as we look forward to next week and into the playoffs. There will be opportunities to get better in the passing game, and we will have to. So it's good to see it tonight. I do have some first quarter stats here if we want to go through those quickly.
Yeah, do it. We'll show some replays while you do that. Tell us about it.
Jace has 66 yards passing, 51 of those to Connor King for a touchdown. Hunter Hillman, 10 yards, and Dylan Brum with a 5-yard reception. Rushing-wise, Christian Michaels has 18, and Connor King has 12 at the end of the first quarter. These stats are valid through. So back to the action here in Saint Ansgar. Quarterback sneak. Sunken falls ahead for a first down. Oh, quick. We call that the Jalen Hurts, right? Line them up and push the line forward. They did a nice job of getting the 1 yard that they needed. It'll be 1st and goal. Warhawks at the 10-yard line. That is the 8-yard line. So we're inside the 10 here. The Saints defense has done a great job of bending but not breaking in these situations. Let's do it again here. Sunken is under center here. But he's going to pass out of that formation. Passes out to the left flat, and it is dropped. Intended for Owen Schmidt. A little low. Would have been a tough catch. Hit his hands. I'm sure he'll tell you he wanted to make that play. It would have been a race to the pylon for a touchdown there, so the Saints catch a break. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
The referee got in the way of our sideline cam here.
Yeah, and that definitely was low, but it hits him in the hands. And that's, like I said, I'm sure Owen would tell you, I got to catch that thing. And he will next time. So here we go. He'll probably get another opportunity here. Watch Cade Eberling, top of your screen. It's their favorite target in that passing game. Back to pass. Looking that way. Throws it out to Eberling, and it is caught. Touchdown, Warhawks. Our defense was right there. Again, it's just a really, really hard pass to defend. And the Warhawks get on the board here, 28-6 with 8:34 to go in the first half. We get a replay of that going here.
See what I can get a little late getting that one. Let's see what
Yeah, no worries. Nah.
Yep.
It's
a little late getting to that button.
Our defense is there. Jace is there. Christian Michaels is right behind him, but a well-thrown ball thrown up where only their guy can catch it. Senior quarterback and a senior tight end that knows how to go get that play. So I do not believe they have a place kicker, so they're going to go for 2 here. I think we'll see that. Sunken back to pass to guess who? Wow. And the conversion is good. So nice pass play over that right side, just a quick hitter.
Conversion is good.
That makes it 28-8, the Saints lead. They do have a man down. I believe that is Eberling that is down after that 2-point conversion. So let's hope he can get up and return here. That looks like just a little shaken up there. He does get up and going to walk back under his own power back to the huddle. So a nice drive.
A really
sunk
nice
into
drive
Eberling, sunk into Eberling, sunk into Eberling, sunk into Eberling. I don't know if you heard me say that a couple of times, but
My goodness.
The Saints defense going to have to make an adjustment there and figure that one out.
They're going to need to figure that out.
And they will. I don't have any doubt about that. And like I said, many of those are a tip of the hat play of this really hard to defend. Really, really hard to defend some of those plays. So good test for the Saints there for their defense. They will go back to work here offensively. 8 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, that was a really well put together drive for those guys. Obviously, it relied 100% on the pass. And even in those moments where they tried to get a run for short yardage, yes, they can convert on it, things like that. They're not going to get a big playoff, but the pass sure seemed to throw us on that one, didn't it?
It's interesting. I think their only positive rushing plays are quarterback keepers, quarterback sneaks. And they've gone to that when they need a yard on fourth down twice now. So the Saints will make an adjustment there as well. So West Fork playing well, they respond. Tip of the hat. There's high school sports are about that, right? A little resilience there that you see out of the Warhawks, where they give up 28 quick points early in that game, don't start the way they want it to, and they put a nice drive together there to put 8 on the board early in the second quarter. So they'll kick it off here. Back to return. The Saints corral it at about the 25-yard line, falls across the 30 to the 31-yard line. I believe that's Connor Mullenbeck. Yeah, Connor Mullenbeck on the return. Sage Sunken in on the return on the tackle. So it'll be first down, Saints at the 32-yard line. Saints look to put a nice drive together here to answer. Offensive line looks ready to charge ahead here. They just got challenged from the sideline. Let's see what they can put together. Jace Keeps comes around the left side and charges ahead for a gain of 7 on first down. Forced out of bounds by Waters. Sage Sunken. But not before he gets 7 yards. Second down and 3 from the 38-yard line. Chase back under center here, puts a man in motion. One guy a little too excited, so a motion penalty on the Saints. They're going to have a false start. They're going to back the Saints up 5 yards. Make it second down and 9. Just a mental error there. They want to get going. You're just amped up, ready to go, and you just get a half a second early off the line there on the short side of the field.
Well, it's bound to happen time to time. Let's just hope that they got a play that'll make up those yards.
Exactly. Go get it back here. Four receivers set. Chase puts Connor King in motion. Uh-oh. And we had another motion penalty. Put Connor King in motion, and then Christian moved at the top. So that would be 2 guys in motion, which I believe is not permitted in the game of football. So that'll back them up 5 more. Make it an interesting second down and 14. Speaking of penalties, last week we had the pass interference call that we kind of questioned, was that ball catchable? You know what I learned this week? In high school football, the ball doesn't have to be catchable.
It doesn't?
It does not. It is pass interference if you impede that receiver, whether or not the ball is catchable.
Wow.
Only in college and in the pros does the ball have to be catchable. So there you go. You learned something today.
That is.
Jay Sweesow back to pass, avoids a sack, and then another rolls out and just throws it away. I believe it was actually tipped as he went to throw it downfield. It was tipped back into his face, falls harmlessly incomplete. Third down and 14 for the Saints at the 28-yard line. So not the way the Saints wanted this drive to start. Obviously, a couple of mistakes, a couple unforced errors. Now they've got a third and long here. So the Saints look to recover here. They're getting a smart timeout here. Coach Clevenger says, let's talk about this. Let's get this thing calmed down. Everybody take a deep breath.
Yep.
And let's look at this and get a play drawn up here for third down and 14. So let's recap here. We had a punt return for a touchdown. We have a pick 6 for a touchdown. And then a Christian Michaels run for a touchdown. And what was their fourth? Who ran the fourth one in?
Lose track after a while.
Yeah,
we
me
had
too.
Christian Michaels. We had
Help us out in the chat if you remember who the last touchdown was.
My goodness. Remember?
And then on the West Fork side of the ball, it's been a sunken to Eberling kind of night. We'll get some stats here at halftime, but he's got to have 60 or 70 yards receiving with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
All right, we're gonna get this figured out here, Joe. I feel bad. We should.
3rd down and 14 for the Saints. Jay Suisau under center. Back to pass. Throws it over the middle for Dylan Brum. Incomplete. Dylan had a step, was open. I think the ball's just out of reach. Falls incomplete, and the Saints will punt. So West Fork has done a good job here responding to that early adversity, score a touchdown. Now they force a 3-and-out for the Saints after a couple of unforced errors on penalties by the Saints.
Just out of reach,
just
number
out
32.
of reach. Just out of reach. He was open. He had a step. He's so fast. I think we've called him the fastest man alive before.
He is the fastest man alive. I think that's been proven. So that ball was just that far ahead of him. It means
Good
it's not
punt
catchable
by
by
Connor
anybody.
King. Gets a little Saint Ansgar bounce, and it rolls to the 40-yard line where it'll be downed by Hunter Hillman. So West Fork will start 1st down and 10 at the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line. Just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Big defensive spot for the Saints here. They know what they're going to do, right? So
Yes, they do.
now we got to go execute. And I'm sure that's been the discussion on the sideline. We're fine. Now go execute. Right? Go find that guy, look him up. See if we dial up a little pressure here. See if we get our defensive ends going and get a little pressure on their quarterback so that he can't sit back there and make those throws.
Well, going back to last week, I mean, my goodness, the quarterback at Newman had no chance with the pressure that we're putting on him.
Yep.
I agree. I think we can see more of the same right here.
Under center is sunken. Back to pass. Quick pattern, quick out. Going to Eberling. Defended nicely by Dylan Brum and Jay Suisau. Pass is incomplete. So I think the recipe has been revealed. It is laying on the table of we're going to take a 3-step drop and heave it up to Cade Eberling.
Yep.
So it's the Saints' job now to try to stop that because I think it's pretty clear. Look, really nice pass, and no time for us to get any pressure to get back because he's so quick with it. And like I said, 3-4 step drop, and that thing is out. So we don't have a lot of time to get pressure. Hunter Hillman was coming around that corner. He just can't get there that fast.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the accuracy of that pass.
Yeah.
I mean, it was right on the numbers or whatever you want to call it when it's got that kind of arch on it. But that was a great play on their part. It just didn't.
Yep, didn't work out.
Didn't complete.
Quick pattern there, that kind of inside pattern to Eberling again. He catches it but loses his footing and loses 2 on the play, maybe 3. Make it 2nd down and 12. See here, Dylan Brum's coming, and Joe Clevenger's out in front of him. So he wasn't going far anyway, but loses his footing, and the Saints drop him for a loss on the play. So I wonder if that quick pass won't replace their run game. They can't abandon the run game 100%, so perhaps that's how they're going to try to keep us off balance a little bit is to run that kind of play.
I really feel like you're right about that.
Pressured and sacked. Cade Eberling brought down by Hunter Hillman, Reagan Witt, and Chase Nedved. All 3 of them are back there. I think Hunter Hillman probably gets credit for that sack, but Reagan Witt's the one who forces him into Hunter Hillman's hands there. He tried to disguise it, but you could see there, like I said, Witt forces him back into Hunter Hillman, and Cheesy's right there as well to clean up. 4th down, 28. The Warhawks a punt. Good answer by your Saints there defensively.
Just lucky to still have the ball after that. He was in trouble.
Good punt fielded by Tyke. Dylan Brum runs down the right side, up the sideline, gets a nice block. 20, 10, touchdown Saints. Dylan Brum with a break your back touchdown run there, but we have a flag on the play. What I called a nice block, I'm afraid that side judge didn't like.
I think it was a hold. I think we got it right here for you.
So that'll bring back a nice return for the Saints.
I think you'll see it right there.
Yeah, maybe.
A bit of a hold. The way that arm was flailing, I'm pretty sure you would have been pushed out of bounds.
The Saints offense wanted a shot at redemption after that last drive anyway, so they will get it here. It's still first down and 10 Saints from the 32-yard line. Deep in Warhawk territory to start this drive after a nice return again by Dylan Brum. Back in the wishbone here, I think we'll get a little old school Saint Ansgar football on this drive. Hand off to Christian Michaels. Runs ahead, breaks a tackle inside the 10-yard line where he's thrown out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. We do have a penalty flag on the field, and I don't like where that one is thrown either. I think I know what that is. Might have been a little aggressive on a block way down the field and out of play here, but let's see what the guy in the white hat has to tell us.
Felt like the defender had him by the shoulder pads right there in the tackle.
Face mask on the Warhawks.
So we'll go to that right here.
So not what I thought I saw, which is good. So just a really good block downfield by Chase Nedved. And instead, it's a face mask penalty on the Warhawks, which is ends up only being a 5-yard penalty because it's half distance to the goal.
Here's a replay on that right there real quick before we go back to the play. But I thought he had him by shoulder pad. He must have had him by the face mask.
He did. He had him by the face mask. So it's 1st and goal Saints from the 5-yard line. In the wishbone, Jay Schweisow under center. Hands it off to Christian Michaels. No, excuse me. Did not hand it off to Christian Michaels. Must have given it to Reagan Witt.
Everybody's fooled. I was fooled.
I was fooled, and I think Christian wishes he had the football as he went untouched into the end zone. As it is, it'll be 1st and goal Saints. 2nd and goal Saints from the 1-yard line. Like I said, a little old school Saint Ansgar football here on this drive to kind of calm things down. Good job by the coaching staff. Now it's Christian Michaels who charges ahead. Touchdown, Saints. Christian Michaels with a 1-yard touchdown run. Makes it 34-8 Saints. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. So the Saints, after a drive, like I said, with some self-inflicted wounds on that last drive, really good job recovering, force a 3-and-out on defense, and then 4 plays, 30 yards, and a touchdown to make it 34-8. Connor King looks to make it 35 with the extra point here. Kick is up, and it is good. 35-8 Saints, 5:30 to go in the first half. Great answer by your Saint Ansgar Saints.
Am I surprised we didn't go for 2 there?
Yeah. Looking down the road, I could see maybe that being a thing. You know, as little playing time as some of the young guys in this, through nobody's fault, but just another game canceled next week for the JV. They had a game shortened this week because the other team had injuries. So, yeah, this game's a little longer. That might be a good thing in the second half. Let's get, I think I've noticed already we've had a couple of guys kind of working in here this week that haven't played early in games that already are. So I think that's a good thing. Let's get some experience going for some of the reserves and the backups. You never know who you may need down the road.
Joe, I got a quiz question for you.
Yes.
Who is the smartest person you know?
Joel Carlson.
Agreed, Joel Carlson. Thank you, Joel Carlson. The other touchdown was a Connor King catch and run, and we should have known. You can always count on Joel. Joel always knows the answer. Joel, thank you for that.
Thank you, Joel. And yes, that is the other touchdown. That was to make it 28. And Christian Michaels with his second touchdown of the night makes it 35-8. So Connor King on to kick off here. Eberling was back on the field, by the way. He was injured on that 2-point. He's been back out there, so he's the man that's deep here to return. He fields Connor King's kick at the 16-yard line. Tries the right side, breaks a tackle, gets out of bounds across the 25 to 26-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 Warhawks. 5 minutes, 24 seconds to go in the first half. I have a prediction that we will see a sunken to Eberling pass attempt early in this drive.
No, you think so, do you?
I think we might. That last drive, the Saints made an adjustment defensively, did a really nice job of they've got 2 defenders on there. Looks like we've cheated the safety over to 88's side to try to prevent that, him from getting loose there. But again, when the ball's well thrown, he's a really hard guy to defend. So let's see what the Warhawks do with it. 1st and 10, 5 minutes to go in the first half. They're going to hand it off here That is Altick, who runs ahead for 2 yards on first down, met by a host of Saints there. Again, our defensive line's plugging up those running lanes really well. Linebackers attack. And a 2-yard gain has been a good gain for them on the ground tonight. They have not been able to get much going on the ground. So it'll be 2nd and 8, now under 5 minutes to go in the first half. So the Saints look to get the ball back here, see if we can't get a 3-and-out again, get the ball back on offense here for your Saints.
Plenty of time left in the first half.
Good situational football here of, hey, can't allow a score at the end of halves, something coaches preach. So they're working on that here. Sunken rolls out, back to pass. We do have a flag on the play. Early flag, but it was a post-snap flag thrown by the referee on this side. So we'll see what we get. There's a short gain on the play, a gain of 5 on the play.
See if we can see what the refs saw before they tell us. Felt like potentially in the area holding.
Yeah. Long discussion here, and I'm not sure. I don't know what I saw on the play there, so let's see what he's got to tell us. You're correct, Mr. Sparrow. Hold on West Fork. We'll back them up 10 yards. So a race is a 5-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down and 18.
You saw it pretty early in that play.
Yeah, I mean, right away you saw that flag come out. So he saw a hand somewhere he didn't like. Usually is what that means, maybe around the back of the jersey or grabbing somewhere on the outside. Seems like you get your hands outside and turn a defender, and they're going to, in high school football, they're going to call that a hold. You can do a whole bunch of holding. You just got to keep your arms and hands inside, keep them on the chest, and they're probably not going to call that thing. But if you turn a guy or dip a shoulder by pulling and with your hand on the outside, they're going to call that one every time. I think that may be what we got there. So Sunken back to pass, rolls out, hits Waters over the middle for a nice gain, gets the penalty yardage back, plus the yards on that play, so they're back to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and a short 3. Nice job of rolling out. Again, good job by the West Fork coaches. They're doing a nice job of keeping the quarterback mobile, so he's not sitting back in the pocket where we can kind of attack him. They're rolling him out, running him away from our defensive ends. And he hits Waters there for a nice reception. I believe that is his 2nd reception on the season, Mr. Waters. We highlighted his first reception in last week.
We did
in the pregame. So 3rd down and 3. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the half. Big play for both teams here. Handoff up the middle. Loses 4 yards on the play. Just nowhere to run. Is that Reagan Witt again? Let's see here if we can get the replay. It happened so fast. Dylan Brum might have been in there really early again.
We lost the sideline, Camp, so I don't know if it's a battery thing or not. But
gotcha. No
you want to
worries.
Send a message
but
and
either way, good defensive effort by the Saints. 4th down and 6. 2:51 to go. West Fork is going for it here.
I'll run the camera if you want to.
Gonna pass. Now brings it down to run, and he's tripped up and tackled very nicely by Christian Michaels, short of the line to gain. West Fork will turn it over on downs. It'll be 1st down Saint Ansgar from the Warhawks 35-yard line. So West Fork gambles there, rolls the dice, goes for it. That was a designed run, I think. He rolled out like he was going to pass, brought the ball down, and Christian Michaels says, "No, sir, you are not allowed to go past that line." And he did an awesome job of bringing him down short of the line to gain. Saints get the ball here after a turnover on downs. Jay Schwiesau under center in the wishbone. Pass to Hunter Hillman. Wide open, and Hunter is gone. Touchdown, Saints. Hunter Hillman with a 35-yard touchdown reception from junior quarterback Jay Schwiesau makes it 41-8 Saints.
Oh, what a great play by the Saints. Let's take a look at this one from the sideline.
That's a staple of the Saints offense is break that tight end loose when nobody expects it, and Hunter with a nice stiff arm goes into the end zone for a 35-yard touchdown reception. Well done, gentlemen. Connor King on to make it 42-8 Saints. Kick is up. Plenty of distance, and it is good. 42-8 Saints. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go here in the first half. So after West Fork gambles and goes for it in their own territory, the Saints get a nice stop. One play later, Jay Sweesow to Hunter Hillman for a 35-yard touchdown.
And that was just fun to see that one open up. You saw Hillman bust out of there. He's a big body anyway, right? And he puts his hand up in the air, about 10 feet up in the air. You see this white glove go up. You're like, just throw me the ball.
Hey,
throw me
Jace,
the ball.
I'm open. They forgot to cover me up. Yep. That is, I mean, I think the guy I remember when I see that play is Ryan Peterson. You know, we did that a lot. I don't know how many years ago that was. I'm getting old, so it's probably longer ago than I think. But we ran that play with him multiple times that year. We went to the Dome with him catching multiple touchdowns that way, just wide open, nobody with him from that tight end spot. So Hunter Hillman with a little Ryan Peterson to him tonight. So the Saints lead 42-8.
Look at this. Look at this.
Sideline cam cheesy on the sideline. I love it. I love it. So it is a 34-point differential by my math, so the clock will not run. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go. The Warhawks will get the ball here as they look to put something together here to end this first half. Eberling is the man deep to return here. Connor King with the kick. Fielded at the 17-yard line by Eberling. And he's tackled by Christian Michaels after a short gain. 25-yard line. Now that's Toby Kennedy. Excuse me. I thought it was a 36. It was an 86. Toby Kennedy.
Well,
all he does is make plays on special teams.
You called it earlier, and proof is in the pudding.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, all he does is make plays. Just a hustle play. He's just going to beat his guy down the field. Right? And whoop. There we go. Good feet. Keeps his hips square. Makes a great textbook tackle. Reagan Witt helps him clean it up. Fun. Again, a kid, that's his job, and he does his job. Do your job. I think I've heard that before in this program. Toby Kennedy's doing his job tonight. Whistle here before they get the snap off. We have a flag on the field. Now he waves that flag off. The man in the white hat decides that is not a penalty. We're going to wave that penalty off. And it'll remain first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the half. Sunken hands it off. Tries the left side. We get a flag again. That's all tick on the carry. Goes nowhere. Multiple flags on the field for what I believe will be offensive holding. Our pursuit causes some of those holding penalties where my job is to keep this guy from getting around me, and my only hope is to reach out and grab hold, and you just can't do that, especially when you're that exposed on the end. They're going to see that. And that is what it is. The man in the white hat tells us it is holding West Fork. That'll be a 10-yard penalty, be first down and 20. A penalty is declined. So Coach Clevenger decides to decline that penalty. They'll take the short loss on the play and the down. So it'll be second down and 12.
Oh, yeah.
Second down and 13 nearly. So a bigger loss than I thought.
Looks like it was Connor King who got held on that one.
He's a guy, that you don't want to get around you, so you got to do anything you can to keep him in front of you.
When he goes down with a guy with a defender behind him, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah. Sunken hands it off with a run straight up the middle. Gets a yard back. Tackled by a host of Saints. Again, just nowhere to go in the middle of our defensive line trying to run the football. Third down and 12. Looks like West Fork's content to go to half here. Except I'd probably, quick drop, throw it up to 88, see what happens.
Yeah. Why not?
I bet that's what we'll see here. Back to pass. Thrown out and incomplete. Pass was intended for Schmidt. falls incomplete there, and it'll be 4th down and 12. So they're going to run a quick little pattern there. Again, I think they have to get the ball out quickly as our defensive ends are coming with pressure there, so they try to get the ball out quick, and just a little too fast. Gets it out in front of him, unable to make the pass, and West Fork will punt. Good job by the defense there. Whatever adjustment was made after that drive has worked really well.
It sure has.
Eberling's been very, very well covered from that point forward. Nice punt over Tyke Remster's head. He just gets out of the way. The ball's down at the 29-yard line by West Fork. Good decision by Tyke. Once that ball goes over your head, you're in dangerous territory to go try to pick it up with a defender coming quickly behind you. So smart decision by him. I think I heard the sideline help him out with that of scatter, and he did.
Is that the term they use down there?
It gets get out of the way. So he does that well. Minute 33 to go here in the first half. The Saints have the ball, 29-yard line. See if the Saints try to open it up here, if we're going to keep the ball on the ground and grind out the end of this first half. Schwiesow hands it off. That's Tyson Klein with the carry. So we're getting a few different guys in the backfield here. Going to mix things up a little bit for this last drive of the first half. Tyson gains 7 on first down. Be 2nd down and 3. Clock is running. Minute 12 to go here in the first half.
Tyson tried a good week last week, didn't he?
Sure did. Jace keeps here, rolls around the left end, gets a first down for Saint Ansgar out near the 45-yard line. So in first down, the clock will stop until the chains get set here. They'll reset the chains, and then they will start the clock. So that gives the Saints an opportunity to get the clock stopped without having to take a timeout. The ball is set. The clock is now running under 50 seconds to go. Jace under center. Quick pass out to Tyson Klein, and it's dropped. Right off his fingertips. Nice pass. A nice route. He was open, and he was going to run for a bit, and Tyson's a quick, shifty guy. He just couldn't wrangle the ball in there. Incomplete pass stops the clock, so the clock is stopped with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. You can see here. He'll want that one back.
He will want it back.
Yeah,
He will want it back. No doubt about
he'll make the next one. Fumble the snap here. Oh, looks like we had a little snap count confusion. I don't think Jace was ready for the snap there, and so we're going to get a false start, which will back him up 5 yards. So haven't been super clean here for the Saints in the first half. Had 2 penalties on one drive that killed a drive there, and a false start penalty there. They'll clean that up here at halftime. 38 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10. Jace hands it off, up the middle. Short gain on the play for Reagan Witt. Reagan gains 2 on the play. So the clock runs. The Saints don't have to run another play. There are more seconds on the play clock than there are on the game clock, and it looks like the Saints will be happy to go to the half, leading 42-8 over the West Fork Warhawks. So a good half for the Saints. Not perfect. So they'll make some adjustments there at halftime, but a great start to this football game. 42-8. Saint Ansgar leads it at half.
Yeah, really great first half. You're gonna get some stats here in just a little bit here from Not Your Average Joe. See if we get some game updates too. See what's going on with that West Hancock versus Lake Mills game. And you know what? We might just take a little time here to watch the band play. We don't have any microphone out there, so maybe, just maybe, our microphones will pick it up a little bit. In the meantime, let's go over some of these comments here. Those of you who are commenting, thanks a bunch for commenting.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We need some more. Do I see Graham McKim in the chat? Graham McKim is in the chat. It is official. Graham McKim would be quarterback Jay Schwiesau's Graham McKim.
Well, you know, they're super fans. Hold on. Here.
Super fans. They're in the chat every week. I have a score update, Mr. Sparrow.
Yes,
West
sir.
Hancock leads Lake Mills 24-0 after a second-half kickoff return for a touchdown. 75-yard touchdown to start the second half makes it 24-0. 0 West Hancock over Lake Mills. So I believe there was a defensive touchdown in that game as well. So West Hancock scoring a little unconventionally as well, but does lead 24-0 over Lake Mills. So West Hancock leads that one. That's another District 2 game, pivotal there, obviously, as that if that game continues to hold, here's how it impacts the Saints. The Saints need to win next week to win the district if Lake Mills loses tonight. If West Hancock has one loss in the district, which would be to us, of course.
Yep.
Lake Mills now has one loss in the district to West Hancock. So
provided that they lose, right? Who knows what they got second half?
This score holds where it is, then that means Saint Ansgar has to win next week to avoid the tiebreaker scenario of every team has one loss, right?
Yep.
For the number one spot in the district. So that is, I think that's a good thing. Something to play for next week.
Oh, is it ever?
And you don't, with only 8 regular season games, you don't waste a high school football game anyway.
You don't.
These kids work too hard for too long to be able to play these games. So I think mentally our kids are almost always ready to go and prepared because they know, hey, you don't get very many of these opportunities. A lot of these kids, are watching a lot of football for 3 years for those 8 games their senior year where it's their turn.
Absolutely.
And so they will make the most of it. But I do think it's kind of fun to go into a game like next week of, hey, this is another must win. Let's go win a district championship. We can do that if the scores as they are tonight hold. There'll be an opportunity for the Saints to wrap up the district with a win themselves. And
the excitement of traveling to Lake Mills next Friday night, in, as you said, a district game that really means something.
Really matters.
To go in undefeated and go into a game that really means something is more than we probably could have possibly asked for at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
So you're right, and I don't want to be in Lake Mills' position. I mean, they're playing a tough game tonight. Tough team tonight. It's their kids are bound to be beat up. Football's a rough sport. They're going to spend some time recovering. They're probably going to need a couple extra days to fully recover. Obviously, we want to see the best team that Lake Mills has to offer. We want to play a good team, but I think it's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be a heck of a battle. It'll be a lot of fun. And those of you who can make it to the game, please come to the game. We will be broadcasting from the stand, so we'll be sitting outside, rain, shine, or otherwise. So we'll be exposed to the elements, but we're excited to be there broadcasting this game for those who can't make it. But for those who do, the Saints need you.
Yep.
Come on out and cheer.
I think some people made the mistake of sitting near us at Newman last week and figured out just how loud I am. It's because I had a very wide berth in the second half, so I apologize. But if you see me in the stands, you might want to give me a little distance. I get a little excited. Eric has to turn my mic down because I get a little too loud up here. I've got some first half stats, Eric. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's start through the air. The Saints, Jay Sweesow, 101 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, one of those to Connor King, who has 2 catches for 51 yards. Hunter Hillman has the other touchdown, 2 catches, 45 yards. Dylan Brum, 1 catch for 5 yards. So exactly what the Saints wanted to do through the air tonight, I think, is to experiment with a couple of plays. We saw the screen pass out here that Joel Carlson reminded us was a touchdown. Somehow we forgot that one. And that's a play that I know we work on a lot in practice. I think that is something that we're going to see a lot down the playoff trail here. And then that last one, like I said, kind of a classic Saints passing play to the tight end who sneaks out up the middle to Hunter Hillman for a beautiful touchdown there. Rushing-wise, we've spread the ball around tonight. Jay Sweesow has 13 yards rushing. Connor King has 12. Tyson Klein has 1 carry for 6 there at the end of the half. And Reagan Witt has 2 carries for 7 yards. So the bulk of the carries in 4, right? And here's how versatile I think we are in our running game. Our leading rusher has 4 carries tonight. 43 yards, that'd be Christian Michaels. 43 yards, 2 touchdowns for Christian Michaels. So he's done a really nice job on the ground tonight. For West Fork, rushing-wise, they've got 15 yards of rushing in the first half. So and 14 of those are the quarterback on either quarterback sneaks or just, running out of the pocket, running for his life and gaining a few yards there.
I'm not surprised.
He's done a nice job of keeping our defensive line. And some of that's by design. I'll tip my hat to their coaching staff. They've done a nice job of rolling sunken out and keeping him out of that passing pocket, the traditional pocket where Connor King and Hunter Hillman are going to come eat him up. They're not able to do that because they've got him rolling out, and he's has 82 yards passing tonight. 40 of them to Cade Eberling, 5 catches, 40 yards. Austin Altick has 2 catches for 27 yards, and Walters has that 1 catch for 15 yards. So they've done all of their damage through the air. That one drive they put together to get their 8 points featured Eberling on, I believe, 40 of the 60 yards were to him on that drive. And, the Saints made a nice adjustment after that. They came back on the next 2 drives and changed the defense up on how they're covering Eberling. That adjustment seems to have made a difference. I assume we will see some more adjustments again here in the second half for the Saints defense. But a good test. I talked about it. These games are about getting better, taking another step up Everest. We need to get better in our pass defense, and I think it's good to be tested and have those opportunities to do that. And we've seen that so far early on in this game tonight.
Lake Mills, 28
nothing. Lake Mills is up 20. Is down. Lake Mills is down 24-0. Yep. So
there was a kickoff return, or punt return.
Kickoff return to start the second half. Kickoff return for a touchdown, and now Mitchell Smith just ran in another touchdown on the 99-yard drive after Lake Mills gets stopped going in to score. It looks like, and then West Hancock gets the ball, goes 99 yards down the field to make it 32-0. Only 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, so that game is a whole quarter ahead of this game. It's traveling at a much faster pace than this
Yes,
one
it is. Yes, it is.
The Saints hope to score here early. They will get the ball to start the second half, and a Saints score will get that clock a-running. Anytime we get past that 35-point differential. So the Saints will work in some backup guys, some JV-style guys here in the second half if they have the opportunity to do that. We'll try to keep you up to date on that in terms of who's going in the game and who's going out. Eric will help me with that as I'm sure we'll see some personnel changes here in the second half. Looks like we've got a little flag football going on the field tonight. They recognized the Park and Rec flag football program before the game started tonight. Awesome to see a huge group of kids out there.
Yeah.
That all are learning to play the game. This program that we started several years ago, call it Skills and Drills. They do a really nice job of teaching some of the same offense that our high school teams are going to run, right? So you don't have to relearn the language. You don't have to relearn I learned this in Pee Wee football, but we don't play that way at the high school level. That's not true in our program. They learn these same skills, the same plays, the same formations from a young age playing in this flag football league that we have. It's after school. They can walk over to Saints Acres behind the school and go play a bunch of football with their buddies and get better and learn something at the same time. So fun to see that group out here this evening.
Yeah, I might give a shout out to Pat and Knowlton. I'm thinking about all the years of Pat, and I'm not sure my kids are old enough. I'm not sure Pat's still involved with that, but
I believe this year is his first year that he is not involved with it.
I mean, my gosh,
he's retired.
A guy who didn't have a kid in it for years and years and years. I mean, most of the dads are there while their kids are there, and then when their kids are gone, they're gone.
Yep.
Hats off to you, Pat, for the time that you put into getting this kid's football thing off the ground, and not just off the ground, but just rolling year after year after year and being a part of this thing. That's a lot of time. That's a big commitment. So thank you for that. We're going to give you just a couple minutes of breather here, Joe. We got 5.5 minutes left in the half. I'm going to go check in with our camera guys, who I think have done an exceptional job so far. And while we do that, let's just... Don't know where my... the right button went, but we got just a couple ads here we'll run while we do that. And then we'll come back and get back to the game here. 5 minutes until second half. We'll see you shortly.
Whether you're hosting a dinner party or having an intimate conversation with loved ones over coffee, custom cabinets from Minnis Woodworking will create a warm atmosphere for all to enjoy. With their timeless style and superior craftsmanship, Minnis cabinets are designed to last generations while providing an aesthetically pleasing backdrop for your most treasured memories. Let Minnis Woodworking make your kitchen a place where life's moments are celebrated with style and grace. Minnis Woodworking, for life. Whether you're hosting a dinner party or having an intimate conversation with loved ones over coffee, custom cabinets from Minnis Woodworking will create a warm atmosphere for all to enjoy. With their timeless style and superior craftsmanship, Minnis cabinets are designed to last generations while providing an aesthetically pleasing backdrop for your most treasured memories. Let Minnis Woodworking make your kitchen a place where life's moments are celebrated with style and grace. Minnis Woodworking, for life.
All right, as these Saints come back on the field, the clock is winding down to halftime here. Joe, you're muted right now, but I want to shout out to those who are commenting. We appreciate the comments out there. Skippy D'Angelo, I was always going to suggest that Skippy D'Angelo actually get his real Skippy name on this thing. And he did. He used to say Lindsay
somehow
or something
he did it
weird like that.
He still got the L, but we got the name right this time.
L, but Skippy D'Angelo. Maybe the L is for low.
It must
He's
be.
feeling a little low right now. Skippy D'Angelo. He did get notification from FanDuel. Fritz Kramer. This actually wasn't supposed to come out till tomorrow, but clearly everyone probably in the nation is watching this tonight. So Skippy let the cat out of the bag. It's true. Fritz Kramer is on the National High School Chain Gang Banger of the Year watch list. It's a heck of an honor. One heck of an honor. Luella, thank you. We appreciate you too. It's fun to be here. And look at this. Check this out. #1 super fan, Brad Mulford. No, it's not.
No.
Grandma Kim, you rascal. What are you doing?
We got to get Grandma Kim her own YouTube account.
We really do. We really do.
Maybe in MacLab, the stream team this week can work on setting up Grandma Kim with her own. She is in the picture at least, but we got to change that name. Maybe Skippy D'Angelo can show her how to change that to Kim. Grandma Kim. We just needs to say Grandma Kim.
Well, that's probably true. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. And look at this. Who's the smartest guy in the world?
Joel Carlson.
Joel Carlson.
You need a piece of information. Joel Carlson probably has it.
Joel's your guy. I think one thing I know for sure, Joel probably knew the wind was going to stop tonight.
Yes, he is our weatherman, right? It is 49 degrees out, northwest wind at 11 miles an hour.
Feels like 11 with a wind of 49 to me, but I'm kind of a sissy. Think about those boys in their short sleeves out there.
Yeah, look at that sideline. Of course, tonight is mild compared to some weather that we've played in here recently, and maybe we'll play in here down the road. But you won't see a lot of sleeves on the Saints sideline. That is for sure.
Clock's winding down. Let's hit this one more time. Those of you who are watching this from home and you appreciate the fact that you can watch it from home and you can watch it from home for free, you're welcome to continue watching at home for free. But what if you could contribute and help it stay free for a long, long time so others like you can watch it home for free? Scan the code, donate, give butter like David and Lois did, like Phil and Karen and Jeremy and Tony and Tracy, Linda, Michelle, and Hudson did. Thank you for all of you who are giving butter to keep this stream free. And I want to point out, as we enter the playoffs, that's pay to play. We got to pay the state to be in that one, and every dollar counts so that we can make that happen to keep it free during the playoffs.
To begin the second half, the Saints will receive and will defend the west goal.
Joel wants to remind us that he is doing civil engineering. If there's anybody out there who's hiring a civil engineer,
Joel will be your man.
Joel will be your man.
So the Saints will receive the second half kick. Connor Mullenbeck, Dylan Brum back to receive. So that's a little different than it's been early here. Connor got the last one.
Kicking off for the Warhawks.
The return game for the Saints has been solid tonight. Let's see if they can get another big one here. The second half is underway. It is Connor Mullenbeck with the ball, across the 30, out to the 40, down at the 46-yard line where the Saints will have it 1st and 10 to start the second half. Great return by Connor. Runs straight up the middle, trusts his blockers, gets a nice 15-yard return.
I thought he was just going to keep running straight through the middle.
I did too. I thought he had a shot.
Well, I don't know. That looks a little too healthy.
I thought he had a shot also. We start the second half in that wishbone formation. Jay Suisse out under center. Hand off to Connor King, who breaks the tackle, charges up the middle. Connor King, touchdown Saints. One play, one touchdown, 54-yard touchdown run for Connor King to start the second half.
Goodness gracious.
Just a beautiful piece of running for Connor King. Offensive line creates a nice hole for him. His receivers block well downfield, and Connor King is gone. 48-8 Saints, 11:42 to go, just 12 seconds, 18 seconds gone in this first half. And Connor's on to kick the extra point. Running a man in here late, but they get him on the field. I believe that's Chase Haugen. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it is good. 49-8 Saints. After one play here in the second half, an electric play for Connor King. He goes 54 yards. He just, I don't know if we got a replay of that, but
So that play
right
happened.
here, he's tackled. He's dead meat, right? Until he puts his foot in the ground and says, well, I'm just going to go right, and you can just keep going left, and I'll go into the end zone. And then just refuses to get tackled. He's at almost the 15-yard line right there, where the guy, again, he's tackled. He's down until he's not. Just fights off that tackle from Everling and runs it into the end zone. Would not be denied.
So I literally, because of software we use, the slow-mo clips that we get are only so long, right? So I actually had to clip that one twice. To get the whole play. So I kind of have the first half of it, and then I have the second half of it. This one's here from the sideline cam. We're getting ready to kick, but so we'll play that here. So after the kick.
After the kick here, the clock will run except on scores, penalties, and injuries and timeouts. Other than that, we'll have a continuous clock here as long as that differential remains greater than 35. Connor King will do the kicking. Eberling is back to receive. Good kick, fielded by Eberling at the 14-yard line. Looks for a lane, finds one, breaks a tackle, but he's brought down at the 35-yard line. Joe Clevenger in on the tackle. They give him the 36, where it'll be first down and 10 Warhawks. So their first opportunity here in the second half. See what kind of adjustments the Saints made defensively. I think we know what West Fork's going to do here, or at least attempt to do. So the interesting adjustment will be here with our defense, I think. They were very effective through the air, did nothing doing on the ground in that first half.
The first and 10 Warhawks on their own 37-yard line.
Here's the first part of that Connor King touchdown. And again, because I can only clip so long, this thing just kept going and going, and Connor King just keeps running and running and
fighting off would-be tacklers.
Great would-be tacklers. Tremendous play.
On that one play, I believe he takes the lead in rushing yards for the evening. So him and Christian are trading back and forth with touchdowns and long runs. Sunken under center, hands it off. I believe that's Dak Sunken. I don't know if that's a cousin or a brother. Same last name there. Runs up the middle for no gain. Second down and 10. I think I've said it, and I think I said it 10 times last week. I probably said it 10 times this week. Just nothing doing on the ground. You're not going to run the ball up the middle on the Saints. They just are too good up front right now.
Here's proof.
Now look at, is that Reagan Witt? I think it's Reagan.
I think it was Reagan.
Just crashing from that linebacker spot saying, no, sir. Fun to watch. Sunken back to pass. Quick pass over the middle to Waters.
Oh,
and is
wow.
picked off. Off his hands and picked off by Tyke Remster.
Oh, Remster.
Beautiful play by Tyke Remster. It was a pretty well-thrown ball, and Waters went up to catch it, and it just bounces off his hands. Was it Christian that ended up with it? It was Christian. It's Christian Michaels. Just right there. Heads up play to dive for it and make that interception. Christian Michaels with the interception. Gives the ball back to the Saints, leading 49-8. Just 2 minutes into this second half. Jace hands it off. Hard running by Connor Mullenbeck. Gain of 8. Oh, it looks like we changed up our backfield there a little bit. I see Tyson Klein, Connor Mullenbeck, and Joe Clevenger all in that backfield. I believe Joe's the fullback right now. And Mullenbeck and Klein are your running backs. It's still Jace at quarterback. I believe our offensive line is the same as well. Jace hands it off to Tyson Klein. Jukes a man. Makes another one miss and rumbles ahead to the 20-yard line. A 17, 18-yard gain for Tyson Klein on 2nd and 2. He continues to impress. Tyson Klein, he gets his opportunities.
To impress.
He's slippery. He's just hard to tackle.
Look at this kid.
Does a nice job of hanging onto the ball there. Yep, Waters trying to knock it loose there at the end. So again, we thought we'd see this. Seth Shots in, wide receiver here. Getting a few young guys, a few looks here. All goes to Connor Mullenbeck, who runs ahead for a 4-yard gain on first down. Good to see. Good, get those guys some experience, get them some opportunities as well.
Some wires here.
You serve two purposes there. You get a little depth, you build for the future, and you keep your guys healthy, right? We get a chance to give some guys a breather, make sure we keep everybody healthy going into the playoff push here starting next week. Jace hands it off to Connor Mullenbeck. Runs across the 10-yard line. They're going to call him down right about the 10-yard line. It is a first down, Saints. So that's a gain of 6. It'll be first down, Saints, just outside the 10-yard line? Question mark. Somewhere. We'll see as they set the yard marks here. If the Saints can get a first down, I believe it looks like they can be inside the 1. Again, Jace is in at quarterback. Joe Clevenger at fullback. This is Tyson Klein with the ball. Runs ahead. Touchdown, Saints. Tyson Klein with a 10-yard touchdown run. 55-8 Saints. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Tyson, what are you doing, kid? Running for touchdowns. That's all I do.
He had 3 touchdown runs to end the game at Newman last week. We started the JV game on Tuesday at Lake Mills. First 2 carries, Tyson Klein, touchdown.
Are you
so
kidding
he touched the ball 5 times over 2 games, 5 times, 5 touchdowns. That's a pretty good average.
That's a pretty good average indeed. Well, I want to eat whatever that kid is eating.
No doubt. Connor King, we fumble the snap there. Jace picks it up, and he's going to be tackled back at about the 20-yard line. So no good on the extra point. It'll remain 55-8 Saints. Good job by Jace just to get the ball picked up. Tyson Klein continues to do his thing, continues to impress when he gets his opportunities. I said Connor Mullenbeck with a couple nice carries there. Joe Clevenger in at fullback, making those holes up front. Good offensive drive for your Saints to make it 55-8. So this third quarter's gone quickly already. 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The clock will continue to run after the kickoff here. We'll see if we get some defensive substitutions in here as well. We'll let you know and try to communicate those as best we can. And I'll look here for a West Hancock score update. See if I can get you one of those. Lake Mills fumble. And then West Hancock marches down the field, caps off with a 26-yard touchdown run. West Hancock 39, Lake Mills 0 at the end of the third quarter.
Kirby's sitting here. He wants that update.
We're multi-purpose here. We can update guys in the stands. We can update them on the YouTube. We can do it all.
West Hancock. Yep.
Connor King to kick it off. Eberling deep. Outside of that one drive, this game has been completely and totally dominated in all phases by the Saints. Eberling returns up the right side. He slips down at the 28-yard line where the Warhawks will have it first down and 10. Tackled by a host of States led by Reagan Witt and Toby Kennedy.
Surprise.
Been a strength for this team, kick coverage all year long. So I'm trying to look at lineups here. I believe we have the majority of the defensive starters still in the game. In fact, I believe we have all of the defensive starters still in the game. Ball is on the ground. don't know if we fumbled the snap there or just a bad exchange. Either way, no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. All right, so Toby Kennedy goes into this game. Seth Schatz comes in as Dylan Brum comes off. Carson Sparrow comes off. I believe Connor Mullenback's out there in the cornerback or safety position. He sure is. So making a few defensive changes here now as well. 2nd down and 10. Sunken loses the snap again. Ball's on the ground, picked up alertly by Anderson. The fullback does a nice job of getting on it. That is Owen Schmidt does a nice job of picking up that loose ball and falls ahead for a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 10. So a couple of missed exchanges here to start the second half for the Warhawks. You can see he just clearly couldn't get that, and that's the backup quarterback is in for West Fork. That was not Sunken on that play. That was number 12, correct? I believe it shows on the replay there. This is Sunken here now.
Sunken, yeah.
Yep, and he hands it off to the other Sunken. Number 9 is Dax, and he goes ahead for a yard. Nothing doing in the run game. Looks like West Fork will punt it away here. Saints lead 55-8. Like I said, with the exception of that one drive where Sunken and Eberling kind of got things going, the Saints have dominated in all phases of this game tonight. Came out ready to play and have performed really, really well. Spread the ball around a lot of different guys getting touches tonight. Low line drive punt is fielded by Tyke Remster at the 35-yard line. We have a flag on the play. Tyke tries to break out of a tackle, ends up going backwards, gets it out to the 38-yard line, but I have a feeling that one's coming back. Look like maybe we got a block in the back on the Saints early in that return. That is the call. So that'll back the Saints up inside their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, tough bounce for Tyke on that one. He can really just grab that thing and take it running.
Sure.
So obviously defenders are coming in closer. Defenders got to protect him, and this is the result.
So the JV offense appears to be on the field. Seth Schatz, number 9, looks like your quarterback's going to be Joe Clevenger. See Simon Jarr in there up front on the line. In the backfield, we have Mullenback and Klein. Joe hands it off to Tyson Klein, who runs up the middle, breaks a tackle, darn near to midfield there. 21 yards for Tyson Klein. Offensive line did a nice job of blocking up front there. Made a nice hole for him, and he finds it. And man, he like I said, he goes north and south, finds that seam, and is hard to bring down once he gets moving forward.
As you said before, you got to credit the blockers for making that happen. But he seems to be quite a talent running.
Joe Clevenger out to pass, hits Connor Mullenback in the flat. Connor breaks a tackle out across the 35-yard line, down and out of bounds. Looks like at about the 34. Nice gain of 15 or 16. Joe Clevenger to Connor Mullenback. Makes it first down, Saints, at the 33-yard line of the Warhawks. So the JV offense is driving nicely here to start their opportunity to play tonight. I believe that's Andrew Holland at fullback.
Oop. We're stuck in replay, and we missed the play there. Sorry about that, Joe.
Ball goes to Connor Mullenback. 10-yard gain there on first down. They do call it a first down for the Saints. So it'll be first down, Saints, after Connor Mullenback gets 10 on first down. Ball to 23-yard line. 51. It's Derek Heeman. He's in there on the line.
Alyssa, thanks for your comment. You tell Chuck I will reach out. Chuck, if you're listening to this, I'll be in touch with you. Thanks. We appreciate your support of Saints TV.
Clevenger hands it off. Up the middle. I'm not sure if that's Andrew Hall, perhaps, the fullback with the ball. They did a really nice job of disguising that handoff there.
Sure did.
I pride myself on being able to tell who's got the ball, and I'll tell you what, he had me fooled there.
And they still keep you guessing.
That is Andrew Hall on the carry. I'll admit I was guessing, but I guessed correctly.
And they're tough to take down.
Tough, yep, exactly. Weston Paulson in there on the line as well. I'm trying to get as many numbers as I can so we can kind of help you out. If you guys could help me with who's at center. I can't tell who's playing center right now.
71, is that right?
Handoff goes to Connor Mullenbeck, who slips down at about the 10-yard line. Nice gain again for Connor. First down and 10, Saints inside the 10. They marked him down at the 7-yard line.
Saints on the Warhawks 7-yard line.
Yeah, if Connor doesn't fall down there, he may have a shot to go all the way.
Yeah, that's a nice little juke move that kid's got.
Joe Clevenger. Movement early on the Saints. I believe we're going to get a false start. That'll back us up 5 yards. Make it first and goal from the 12-yard line.
All right, I'm looking at jersey numbers here.
Yep.
I keep
75. Who's 75? That's Jackson Broom. Okay, gotcha.
Jackson Broom playing center.
52. Another number I see there that I don't recognize.
Luke
Peterson. Yeah,
Luke
that's
Peterson.
Pete. Yeah, okay. Try to get, again, as many numbers as we can to you folks that are watching from home. Joe Clevenger keeps there. Loses a yard. That'll be the last play, I believe, of the third quarter. The quarters go fast with that running clock. It looks like the Saints are happy to let the clock run out here and start the fourth quarter, leading 55-8. The JV offense is on the field and driving.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to be. We're not going to bother going to commercial here because it seems like the referees are keeping this stuff moving pretty quick, too. I'm not sure if there's a standard for quarter or not, but it sure seems it's like been a little faster than normal.
Yep, I don't think we have time to go to break the way they've been setting that ball ready for play.
You got it.
23 is another number I need there, young man. Who we got for 23? That's Nunez. All right, Dylan Nunez has been on the field here this drive, too. That's a number I didn't recognize. So we got Weston Paulson, Simon Jarr, Nunez. I've seen Drew Carlson in and out.
All right.
Nice to see these young guys get some work.
Ethan's down there with the camera. I thought we were going to get some sideline footage, but nope. I think he's trying to keep his hands warm down there. So we're not going to.
It is a chilly night to have your hands on a cold camera. There's no doubt about that.
These guys are doing a great job. They really are.
So the Saints look to cap this drive off after that penalty and a short loss on the following play to second and goal from the 13-yard line. At the start of the fourth quarter, Tyson Klein, Connor Mullenbeck, and Andrew Hall are in the backfield. Your quarterback is Joe Clevenger.
This is Joe's last attempted keeper. Didn't go the way we wanted to.
Joe starts under center. He's going to pass. Throws the ball into the end zone for Drew Carlson, and it's caught! Touchdown, Saints! Drew Carlson.
What a play.
The 14-yard touchdown reception from Joe Clevenger. The JV offense gets it done in spectacular fashion to make it 61-8 Saints. Great job out of those guys. Gave Joe plenty of time. Drop back. Throws a beautiful pass. Drew Carlson makes a great catch in the end zone. And your Saints are marching.
Got some coaching staff in the way of this one, but there's your sideline cam of Drew Carlson.
Congrats, Drew Carlson. Another guy does his job, plays hard.
Yes, he does.
Good to see him get that opportunity to make the most of it.
And I know his brother's watching.
Connor King adds the extra point. I believe our JV kicker is on the sideline tonight, unable to go. So Connor will get the extra point duty the rest of the night. 62-8. Saints lead, 11:54 to go in this game.
Here's another look at that pass from Clevenger to Carlson. Beautiful bomb over the top of the defense.
Drew Carl keeps his
Carlson goes
eyes
up.
on it, makes a nice play for a touchdown.
That kid's a baller, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Joel, if you're still there, give us a comment. Little brother Drew getting it done. So your Saints lead 62-8 in a night that's been almost all Saint Ansgar. I give West Fork credit. They have, they hung in there early. They were down 28-0, and they came back and put that nice drive together to score, to make it 28-8, forced a 3-and-out on the next drive after a couple of Saints penalties. And, they didn't roll over and give up. They've fought hard tonight.
They really have. And that drive, they look brilliant. And I'm impressed with their number 88. Who seems to be in the middle of every play.
He sure does.
But the way he goes up and gets a ball, the way that he battles to tackle our guys, the way he's involved with every single play is downright impressive.
For sure. So Connor King on to do we have Zachary Eckwall on to kick for the Saints. Good kickoff. Caught by an up man at the 25-yard line. That's Dax Sunken, who returns it to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Warhawks. So as some official stats, looks like the starters are probably out on offense. Jace is going to end the night with 100 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 51 of those yards to Connor King for a touchdown, and 45 yards to Hunter Hillman for a touchdown. Great job through the air tonight for the Saints on a couple of key plays. Rushing-wise, Connor King takes the lead with 66 yards rushing and a touchdown. Christian Michaels, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. Connor Mullenbeck, 38 yards already, and Tyson Klein has 56 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
So those are your stats officially at the end of unofficially at the end of the third quarter.
Do love how these Saints spread the love.
Makes us really hard to defend. I know we've said that a bunch, but I think it's so important, especially in small school Iowa high school football, to have that diversity. To a lot of teams, you look through some of the best teams record-wise in the state right now, and they're super top-heavy. They've got guys with 1,100 yards rushing or 700 yards receiving. We don't have the gaudy stats because ours are spread out. We've got gaudy stats. We've got tons of yards, tons of points, tons of touchdowns, but they're all spread out. We got a whole bunch of guys on our side of the football that all have really nice stats. And that's fun to see and hard to defend. So West Fork calls the timeout here.
It seems like year after year after year, we've always been that team. Like, hey, we've got a guy. We've got a number 1 guy. We've got a number 2 guy. But we're tough on the ground, and we always have those runners with the big stats. We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back here after this timeout.
At Johnson Oil, we're in business to be partners in your success.
This broadcast brought to you in part by Colbert Realtors. Service you can depend on. Know-how you can count on.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Prairie Lakes Church in Osage. Services are every Sunday at 9 and 10:30 a.m.
Harvest is right around the corner, but Farmer State Bank is more than just a bank.
All right, back to the action here in Saint Ansgar. It looks like West Fork called that timeout to get some of their second-teamers in as well, so it looks like their JV offense is on the field. Their backup quarterback, number 12, hands it off to Dax Sunken, who loses the ball, but I believe he was down. He was. The refs are going to say he was down. Does lose 2 yards on the play. Well, the JV defense says, you're not going to run on us either. So,
I know.
run defense. We've hung our hat on it all year and continue to do that tonight. 2nd down and 13. Look at the pursuit. Again, Joe Clevenger does a great job. Are we sure his knee was down?
I'm pretty sure it was. Okay. I'm pretty sure he knocked that ball out.
I don't blame for the man in the white hat for saying let's just let's keep this thing rolling here. Handoff Up the middle, hard running there. Good, nice gain. Gain of 4 on
Pretty
second
good
down.
running. I agree. That's a
Gain of
pretty good
5. Yeah, he gets the lost yardage back plus 3. Be third down and 7. Tyson Klein in on the tackle. He's everywhere.
The kid is everywhere, no doubt about it.
44, I think that's Chase Haugen we got on the field there. A lot of the same linemen, offense, defense, they just flip here. Derek Heeman's out there. 70. Who's number 70? Is that
Well,
Beeson?
we're about to find out.
Aiden Beeson, perhaps? Yep, Aiden Beeson is number 70, so he's a new face out there on the field. Chris Corbo, number 24, out there as well. So it'll be 4th down for West Fork. Looks like they're going to punt. And we got a regular return group out there on the field. Tyke Remster, Dylan Brum back to receive the punt. Another nice punt. Good hang time. Fair catch called for by Tyke Remster and taken at the 32-yard line. So it'll be first down Saints at the 32-yard line. Clock runs under 8.5 minutes to go in this game. Go ahead.
We're just going to grab a couple highlights here from earlier in the game while we transition here.
33-yard line.
Brock Ritterath looks like he's going out onto the field. Hudson Ostrander also. Numbers 50 and 60, if you see those two numbers out there, those two guys, I believe they are new in this drive. Jevin Damon, number 56, out there as well here. Joe Clevenger under center. Hands it off up the middle. Andrew Hall. Gain of 3, maybe 4 on the play. Looks like they're going to call it 3. Second down and 7. Clock continues to run. Under 7.5 minutes to go in this football game. Great night for the Saints. Football weather here for the first time all year. Feels good to be a little chill in the air as the Saints roll to victory here this evening.
I'm always amazed at football season and how hot it is to start. And how cold it is.
Cold it
and
is.
it's just not that too different. I mean, it's just this. I mean, time-wise,
yeah,
it's pretty swift.
Handoff to Andrew Hall again. Refuses to go down. Finds a way to turn a very short gain into 5 yards, and it'll make it 3rd and short. Nice run by Andrew Hall. Good to see these young guys get their opportunity to make the most of it when they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, these are the guys that run the scout team, right, all week long in practice, and they do their job to be a part of this program. And it's fun to see them get a chance and make the most of it.
Joe Clevenger.
He keeps, and had everybody fooled. Gain of 10 yards, needed 2, got 10. Will make it first down Saints right at midfield. Nice keeper there. You know, he's sneaky fast too. Joe is. He's one of those guys. He's so big, he doesn't look all that fast until you go try to catch him, and then you figure out how quick he is. You know, he's one of those guys that has really good foot speed, puts it to work there.
And strong.
And
really
he's strong. Yeah, once you catch him, then you got to tackle him.
And then you got to tackle him. That's a whole new deal.
Joe hands it off to Hall again. Runs ahead for 3 yards on first down. So the JV offense continues to drive here. Done a nice job, scored on that last drive, and they put a nice drive together here. 78 into the game on the offensive line. That would be, I'll get you a name here. Nice straight ahead running again. Short gain for Hall there. Reese Cruzy, that's what I would have guessed. Reese Cruzy, 78 into the game. So it'd be 3rd down and 7 for the Saints here. Joe keeps, runs around the right end, charges ahead for a first down, breaks the tackle across the 30-yard line, down at the 29-yard line. First down, Saints.
Really great piece of running by Joe on that one. Again, everybody's fooled.
Yeah, but Saints call a timeout there to stop the clock. I have a feeling we may get some mass changes in here again, as I believe the freshman offense is going onto the field. So Coach Cleffinger gathers up the freshman group, has a conversation with them, make sure they all know what they're doing and where they're going. Again, I think that's a pretty cool deal that those kids get that opportunity to get on the field on a night like this. I know there's a few grandmas and grandpas out there, this group too, paying attention tonight. So we'll try to get as many names and numbers to you as we can as this group goes on to the field. I believe we'll have pretty well wholesale changes here as most of the sophomores come out and the freshmen rotate in here. You can see Joe on that first down play here on that replay. Again, faster than he looks and hard to tackle once you get him. I mean, he was tackled 5 yards before he was because he just kept his legs moving and going.
The first guy, you can kind of see it here. He seems like he's just kind of, we'll see, we may not have time for this one, but he just kind of drags him along. Is not slowing him down too much, this first guy here. Just keeps on pushing.
Just keeps on driving. So we'll reset here with the freshman group. Looks like we got Gavin Squire in it, quarterback. Brady Dolph, I believe, at fullback. The handoff goes to Dolph, or did Gavin keep there? I believe Gavin kept. Sure did. Gavin Squire with the keeper. Oh, he runs ahead for 3 yards. Seth Schatz is out there.
Good sideline work.
Landon Hillman, number 21, out there at that tight end position right now as well. Oh, had a little movement early. Offsides on West Fork on the defense there. So in the backfield, I believe we have Seth Schatz, number 9 in the backfield there. Dyson Dolph is the running back.
Is that 29? I saw 20. That ball was going to 29 there. Who was that?
Yep, that is... I'm going to go make sure I'm right there, not calling him the wrong name. Yep, Brody Dolph is number 29. He's the fullback for this group. Ball's on the ground. Squire picks it up, hands it off to Dolph, who runs ahead for a yard, make it 3rd down and 1. .33 out there.
Brody Dolph on the carry.
It was a good job of Gavin getting that ball picked up, doing something with it.
It sure was. Mason Beeland out there defensively. Wagner out on the other end. The center is Zaid Shell. Try to get that offensive line called out for you. Dolph does a nice job, gets a first down there.
That was a nice
run. Yeah, gain of 6 for a first down. It looks like they have a lot of their defensive substitutes in as well. Alex Face, number 63 in the game. 62 is Logan Wagner. We called him out before. 53, Alex Gonzalez. Zaid Shell in at center. Gavin Squire in at quarterback. Got the nice hard count going. Gets another offside penalty on the defense to get another free 5-yard penalty there for the Saints. Good job by Gavin. Little inflection in the voice. He's got the Aaron Rodgers going out there tonight. Gets the Saints 10 yards and a couple of penalties with just a little change in voice there. Andrew Hall is the other guy in the backfield. Moved from fullback to running back here, looks like. Uh-oh, we got our own guy that time. So we got a false start. The Saints going to give those 5 yards back. It'll be back to 1st down and 10. So the Saints freshman offense is out there tonight to finish this game up. It's 62-8 Saints, under 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Gavin Squire's your quarterback. Hands it off Nothing doing there in the running game. That's Andrew Hall gets the handoff.
Andrew Hall seems a little hard to take down too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He does not go down easy either. Offensive line's gonna have to do a better job of that, of preventing those guys from getting into the backfield there. They'll work on that and get better. Like I said, this is their they haven't had many opportunities this year, so they're continuing to get better and learn, and awesome to have the opportunity to get to do that tonight on the varsity field.
And you said it before, these guys put a lot of time in.
They sure do.
A lot of time to earn their field time as starters once they hit 11th and 12th grade.
Andrew Hall, bust free, breaks a tackle, gets nearly 10 yards there on second down and 13, and makes it third down and 6. So turns a really long second down into a manageable third down with a very nice run. Like you said, just refuses to go down. Runs over that right side of our line and did a nice job of making a hole for him initially. There's the future of Saints football right here on the field, right? Kind of fun to watch and get a preview of what 3 or 4 years from now might look like for the Saints football team. Handoff to Hall, who runs ahead down, gets the first down. I was warming up my Saints touchdown for the JV group. I thought they had it.
I thought they did too.
Tackled inside the 1-yard line. 27 seconds to go in this game. Let's see what the Saints do here. They give this group an opportunity to score a touchdown here to end this game. Looks like they're gonna run a play here. Squire keeps. Touchdown Saints. Gavin Squire with a 1-yard touchdown scramble makes it 68-8 Saints with 11 seconds to go. The freshman group gets their touchdown. Fun to watch. A great night of Saint Ansgar football.
How great to see Gavin Squire get his first touchdown on the varsity football field. Great job. And honestly, the whole team around him, all the younger players around him who were blocking and making that happen.
You know,
pretty special.
Was that 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? They got one series at the end of a game that was sort of in this similar situation, and I think they had 2 penalties and a fumble. You know, things didn't go well. So good to see them kind of get back on the field, get another opportunity, and make the most of it, and march down the field and score a touchdown here to cap this one off. Dominating win by your Saint Ansgar Saints, 69-8. That'll be the final. There's 11 seconds here to go. The Saints will have to kick it off. West Fork will run one play, and this game will come to an end. Look at this side, the right side of the offensive line here. Crashes down. Mason Beelan, number 54, pushes a guy out of the way, and Gavin Squire does the rest. That's textbook. That's fun, and I'm going to enjoy calling my kids' football game someday too. I can tell you that's kind of fun to. Although it's a little distracting because I kind of want to watch what he's doing. You know, I think last time I called him out when things didn't go well on a guy he was supposed to block, and he blocked him this time. And
well, there you go. It worked.
So I had to give him a few props. So. Fun night here in Saint Ansgar, and lots more fun to come. You know, we can start looking ahead to next week. I'll get you a final score here, but it was getting more lopsided for West Hancock over Lake Mills. It was 36-0 last I looked, and I believe West Hancock had the ball and was driving again. So, we look forward to next week where we will be at Lake Mills. We will be broadcasting, so you'll be able to watch it live right here on Saints TV if you can't get there. If you can get there, let's go have a big crowd in Lake Mills next week.
Let's do it. Let's make some noise.
Zachary Eckwall kicks it off. It's recovered there by an up man, Jack Suntken. He breaks it to the outside, turns it back in, but is tackled at midfield, and that will do it here in Saint Ansgar. There are zeros on the clock. Saint Ansgar wins 69-8. Dominant performance by Saint Ansgar on all phases of the game. This is a 3-phase game, right? We got offense, defense, special teams. They all did their job tonight. The young guys, whether it was the sophomore group or the freshman group, came in, did their jobs as well to finish this thing off, and a fun night here in Saint Ansgar.
The score was 14-0 before they had the first offensive snap, which was nearly 7 minutes into the game. So Great job by Saints. You said it, not your average Joe. You said it. And you're right. This was a three-phase game, a three-phase win, a game that we very much expected to win, and then we did everything we expected to do outside of one drive here.
Yep. And they'll learn from that. I think that's as you reflect on this, that one drive will be something that we can use to get better throughout the year and as we go forward here, where it's, all right, what broke down on that drive? What do we need to do next time? Because there will be teams who will do that to us over and over and over and over again as we go forward. So we'll have to be ready for that. West Hancock 41, Lake Mills 0 is the final in that one. So next week, Saints versus the Bulldogs for all the marbles for the district championship. Next week on that field, it will be a Saints win and win the district championship kind of night, which is exactly the position you want to be in going into that last week. Is we control our own destiny. We win the game. We get the number one seed headed into the playoffs, and of course, with the rankings the way they are, we will also likely be the number one overall seed in the entire class, not just our district, if we take care of business next week at Lake Mills.
So bear with us here for just a second, because I'm going to go to that slide, and we kind of skipped through it early because we're a little bit behind. You're going to hear some stuff. I'm going to try and pause on that slide. So give us just a second here while we get to that. So
what Eric's going to bring up here is kind of a picture of what those playoffs look like, some dates. So for those of you who are looking for they change it every year, it seems, and they don't really, but it feels like those playoff games and schedules change every year. So we thought we'd put this together. The kids did this. We've talked about how this is a partnership, this whole Saints TV thing with the Mac Lab students at school. So they put this together for us, this graphic that you're going to see here in a minute that kind of details how this schedule will work after next week.
Yep, so hold on here for just a second, Joe, because the sound is going to get wonky. We're going to make some quick adjustments. We're going to be muted, but this is how it's going to go. So give me just a second. All right, let's take a look at the lineups for tonight, Joe.
All right, so we're back in audio-wise. We'll get this forwarded to the correct spot.
There we go. So this is the playoff picture, and we kind of sped through it, but I think people kind of got the gist of it. But now that we know we win tonight, now that we know Lake Mills doesn't win tonight, not that necessarily impacts this, it just makes it much clearer that we need to win next week.
Yep, so we win next week. We should get, and anything can happen here as the state schedules games, but we should get to be the home game in the first round, the second round, and the quarterfinal round, assuming we make it that far. So go win next week, take care of business, and get 3 extra home games. What a special deal that would be for this community and this program and these seniors that have worked so hard to get there. So they are attempting to earn that right next week. So that first round is a Friday night, the second round's a Friday night, and the quarterfinal rounds are a Friday night. So the 20th and the 27th of October and November 3rd. And then, of course, those last 2 rounds are played in the Dome down in Cedar Falls. So that's what that schedule would look like. Eric tells me, because he's the technical guy around here, that those first 3 rounds would be broadcastable on Saints TV.
You got it.
So we're excited about that opportunity, obviously, 1 round at a time. We're not coaches or players, so we can look ahead, but those guys can't. So we will give you that little flavor of what that might look like. No matter what happens next week, the Saints are in the playoffs. They have clinched a spot now officially. So no matter what happens next week, they will be in that first round game on Friday, October 20th, and I'm not sure that there is a scenario anymore where the Saints won't be at home for that one.
Yeah.
For at least that one. So that'll be fun. Obviously, we pack this place on that night, and we'll talk more about that next week. Eric, why don't you do this, and I'll get some stats going.
Yep, I'm going to put the butterboard back up, and the reason is, to Joe's point, now the playoff games are going to cost us. So obviously, when we stream here at home, we get to do that. It doesn't cost us to stream. There's a fair amount of equipment and such that go into this, so we appreciate the businesses that have donated, the butter givers out there who are donating. Scan the code. Please help us out. And we probably should post a link out there somewhere as well. But in either case, we're really grateful for those who have donated. We're grateful for those who will donate. We're grateful for the businesses that are participating. Come playoff time, it gets a little bit expensive because the state charges us in order to stream those games. And you ask, well, why is it different? Why does the state charge us? And the reality is, once you get to playoffs, that's kind of all state controlled. Tickets need to be purchased through the state. You don't get into the games with normal student passes. You don't get into the games with normal teachers passes. Those people who might get in the games otherwise have to pay. Everybody's got to pay, and you got to pay through their portal, and the state gets half the funds, and the hosting school gets half the funds. It's just a different game. But in order for us to stream, the state looks at that and says, well, we might lose some seat sales there, so we're going to charge you for that. But we want to bring the game to you here for free at no cost, and that can only happen with some help. So those of you who are willing to help, please consider helping. We're just glad to be able to bring the game to you for free. So thanks for those who have made that happen. Joe, you got some stats?
I do. Let's talk about the Saints side of the football first. Nearly 400 yards of offense just by my quick math. Jay Schweisow had 100 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Joe Clevenger had 35 yards passing and a touchdown. Receiving wise, we're led by Hunter Hillman with that big touchdown reception. Really to start this night roll in the right direction. Rushing wise, looks like the Saints have nearly 300 yards of rushing spread out among 8 guys, led by Connor King with 3 rushes for 66 yards. Had the big 54-yard touchdown run early in the second half. I believe that was the first play of the second half to put this thing out of sight for the Saints. West Fork on that side of the football, they had 27 yards rushing tonight, Eric. That's I think last week Newman might have had negative yards rushing, but 27 is not shabby. Do they have 11? They end up with 11.
I think that was our slide was 11, but yeah.
So when we say that the run defense part of this team has been lights out and unbelievable, I think we've got the stats to back it up. That's not just something we're saying. That is absolutely evident. They did have 82 yards passing, 82 yards through the air tonight. Cade Eberling had 5 catches, I think almost all of them on the one drive. The Saints made a nice adjustment and shut him down from that point forward. The young guys get in this game to finish it out, get some experience, do really well as well to finish this thing. A great night for the Saints all around. Let's take a look ahead here to next week. We will be streaming at Lake Mills. If you can get there, be there. Let's pack those visitor stands at Lake Mills. If you can't, then join us here on Saints TV. We'll have the audio and the video version next week for you.
Yes, we will. And if you're going to the game in Lake Mills and you still want to see the replay, it's okay to tune in to Saints TV from the stands in Lake Mills. Don't think you're missing out on the replay just because you're at the game.
That's right. That's right. I see a few phones down there as I look over the over in the stands, and I love to see that. Put it on mute so you don't have to listen to me, but you get Eric's replays that way. So special thanks to our 2 helpers up here tonight. We've talked about this being a student organization. We've had 2 kids step up and volunteer to help us run cameras tonight. They both did an awesome job. So hats off to both of them. Thank you for your help.
Yeah. We're getting some help here from the stream team. We've been talking about stream team. We're getting some involvement. It's a lot of fun to be working with these kids. So thanks, guys. Thanks a bunch for being here. And we didn't talk beforehand if you guys want to be introduced or not. So I mean, we probably better cover all those. Because you're minors. We don't want to be breaking
get
laws
permission
like that, right?
This might be a HIPAA violation, right? I'm not sure.
We gotta be cautious. But in either case, for those of you who joined us tonight, thank you for being here. Thanks again for the Saint Ansgar stream team for helping make this possible, and for those who are donating to keep this stream free. Next week, by the way, the girls play volleyball in Cresco. I think that's on Monday night. The boys play football.